is your lesson plan?
Looks like we got a new friend!
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Last Nights on Earth. Welcome. Today is a monumentous day because Edmund Silveroak just resubscribed. Now, for those of you that know, Ed was my very first subscriber on the very first day that I made affiliate. So him being subscribed for 18 months means it's been 18 months since we made affiliate some time ago. Thank you so much. Look how far we've come. Before we go around and say hello to these lovely faces around the screen and get into our game, let's go through our usual links. So first of all, here are our social links. Check out our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, check out our Patreon, where you can find free articles done by Rene. Our most recent article is a banging article about your first time on the channel, so maybe you can relate to that. It's certainly very on brand for us. You can also support us over there for as little as $1 a month. We also have merchandise. Thank you very much, Ali, coming in with a sub. Ali and Ed, you both have rerolls to gift to players. Thank you so much. We also have merchandise. Head over to the Redbubble where you can get a crest on your chest. Also, we have sponsors in Bird in the Storm Publishing, who create modules for D&D and other TTRPGs, and Mage Hand Press, who made the Dark Matter Alpha, a sci-fi expansion for D&D 5e, and rumour on the street is that I'll be running another Mage Hand Press game next season using a different expansion, so stay tuned for that. Below screen, we have some other things. We have panels where you can find 10 to 15% discount codes for tabletoploot.com, ruinc.com, and arasavad.com. So if you want to get yourself some dice, some accessories, or maps and cartography, head over there and use our codes. Ed gives me a reroll. Thank you very much, Ed. Lastly, we have a tweet. Every 10 retweets will gift a random potion to a player. I've not actually looked at that since I made the tweet. Let's see how that's doing. Don, I hand over to you. We're already at 10. We'll be starting with a potion.
Fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and roll that and get that started here. 98, and I always do a random. Oh, it's always you, at least to start off.
I don't think it's ever rolled anything except a 1. Like...
Oh, man. All right, so let's see what you get today, Rutherford. Oh, so many choices. I'm going to say... Rutherford, as your mutation continues to change you, you've developed some sort of psychic power, not just a physical mutation anymore, but a psychic one that allows you to have a sort of imprint memory from plant life. So you are able to speak with plants, and you may get flashes. We'll call it a weird check. On a successful weird check, you may get flashes. I'll let you ask the plant a question, and you might see what they've seen.
Ooh,
cool.
Very nice. Thank you. Also, Michael Wayne donates £10 for another potion type thing, a gift from the middleman to Celeste. All
right. Well, let's go ahead and roll that right now.
Please don't let it be poisoned again.
It is 98.
What are the chances of getting the same roll twice in a row?
And I feel like
you're kidding.
About one in a.
Where have we been together?
It's 1 in 10,000, right?
Yeah, 1 in 10,000.
Yeah.
Ish.
So, I'm going to give you I'm going to hold on to this. I know what it's going to be, but I'm going to hold on to it. Right. Welcome, everybody. This is Last Nights on Earth, a post-apocalyptic game powered by the Apocalypse system and inspired by the Monster of the Week system. It is an adaptation of Monster of the Week. There are some changes. We use a more stripped-down version of the system because really all we're doing here is we're telling a collaborative story about the world after it ends. We're going to go around here and introduce everybody. Let's go ahead and start off. I want to start out with Vicky. Welcome back, Vicky. How are you doing today? What are you looking forward to today?
Oh God, I'm fine. It was a surprisingly nice Monday for a Monday. What am I looking forward to? Finally deciding not to go Las Vegas. Let's see how that will go.
Excellent.
Come to Las Vegas, Celeste. Come to Las Vegas.
Oh, it's never gonna get old. Scratticus, how are you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. We also have another donation coming in from some Patreon rewards. Kentucky Hawkeye gets a D6. I'm doing fantastic. For me, Monday's only just begun. I woke up about 2 hours ago, so you know, the birds aren't singing because it's evening time. But I feel like it's a crisp beginning of the week, Monday morning, here doing a thing I love. Today I'll be playing Rutherford. Rutherford is he's a mutated creature that's been mutated by Captain Trips, into some sort of werewolf-like being, and every week he gets bigger and hairier and more confident and more scruffy, I guess, as well. Bloody is definitely a term we could use.
He has bloodied his hands quite a bit, but he's still a good guy, right? He's still walking on the good side of things.
He believes his actions have been sound so far.
All right. Well, I'm interested to find out a little bit more about our guest characters today, so I'm going to go ahead and take it on over. Let's meet Gabriel. Let's learn just a little bit about him. And here's what I'd love you to do. Describe what they look like, anything that you want the audience to know about them. You don't have to share more than you want. It's up to you. I might ask you some follow-up questions as well.
All right. I'm Kentucky Hawkeye. I'm going to be portraying Gabriel Michelson, known to his friends as good old Gabe. He looks like your standard country boy, redneck hick kind of guy out on the farm. Dark brown hair, probably has a farmer's tan, maybe like late 30s, early 40s. Still has a day or two of stubble on because he just didn't feel like shaving this morning. Flannel shirt, jeans, has his genuine Wolverine work boots on, has his John Deere hat and everything. And usually see him tooling around town in his 4-wheel drive pick-em-up truck has the gun rack with the 2 fishing poles hanging on it and everything else. And he spends a lot of his time lately just going around fishing and hunting to try to get everybody around as much food as he can to help keep them going. And that's what he pretty much does right now.
And for Gabe, what has brought him to Wyandotte recently? Why has he come here?
Well, he was born and grew up here, then moved off on his own and came back to see if his mama and daddy were doing all right, but he got here just in time to find them getting buried. So now he's hanging around, helping out the people he grew up with and stuff like that, trying to help do what he can to contribute.
Great. Let's go ahead and move on over to Jason and meet his character he'll be playing today, Donovan. Hi, welcome.
Hi. So Donovan Hargreaves is not a resident of Wyandotte. He was passing through on his way down to New Orleans, and his truck broke down. So he's looking for somebody who knows something more than him about trucks, figure out what's going on and fix it up. So quite frankly, he's not going to say it, but he wants to get the hell out of this podunk little town. Reasonably tall, dirty blonde, sunglasses, tailored suit, very slick looking, always has a smile on, and is always willing to work with everybody on whatever they need.
Do you want to be a mage?
And let me ask you this, Jason. What's the apocalypse been like for him so far? Has he lost anything particularly important to him? Does he have anything left to lose?
Well, as far as anyone can tell, he's doing absolutely great. As far as anyone can tell, he has lost something, he's due to lose something in about 6 months.
All right.
In New Orleans.
And we'll get to New Orleans here shortly. It is a very, very interesting place and becoming more interesting all the time. Before we get started, I want to know, and this is just a suggestion, but I get the feeling that maybe Gabe and Donovan have just met. If Donovan's truck has broken down at the edge of town, and he's looking for help with somebody who knows how to repair trucks. Does Gabe know how to repair trucks? Has he worked on trucks before?
He's been working on engines with his daddy earlier than he learned. He started using a wrench before he learned how to walk. So he sees this truck pulled over the side, and he can tell by the body English that the guy's showing that he's got some trouble. So Gabe is pulled off to the side and coming over to see if he can do anything to help.
All right. So with Donovan and Gabe first meeting at the edge of town with broken down truck, we'll get to them and that scene and kind of introduce them that way. Before we move on, my last question is for Gabe. How recently did he bury his parents?
He got here when the townspeople were doing all the burying. He's been here maybe about 3, maybe 4 months.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our world and get us into it. So
before we carry on, Don, sorry, we've had a few more donations come in.
Excellent.
As I desperately look for the chat window, which I've closed, we've got a reroll for someone who doesn't have one. We also have a D6 for Celeste. We've hit our sub goal, which means we've got another potion, and another reroll for the power of V. I guess that means that's another one for Celeste. So Celeste gets a reroll.
Thank you.
So Donovan gets a reroll. Celeste gets a reroll. Celeste gets a D6, and we have another potion coming in. Let's roll that potion. It's for Rutherford.
Of course.
It's rigged. It must be rigged. Even I think it's rigged now.
I'm getting a little suspicious about your dice. I think they might be loaded a little bit.
Oh.
You could always just rule out somebody who's already gotten one and spread them around. Yeah, that would be kind of a neighborly thing sort to do, right? Ain't that right, Gabe? Very neighborly, isn't it?
Usually it would be, yeah.
You don't always want what these rolls give you. For instance, again, I have to choose which of these I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with bad luck, Rutherford. Ever since you began obsessing over the body that you found a week ago in Wyandotte, we'll say that weird things have been happening to you. And this episode, you're going to have -1 on all of your weird checks. That is your bad luck.
Oof, okay.
Let's go ahead.
Use your sharp.
Your charm. He's thinking about it.
No.
Let's talk about the world. So no one knows where the virus came from, whether it was hatched in some secret military facility or if it was a plague sent to Earth to punish a world that had grown fat on its own corruption. All anyone knew was that Captain Trips first appeared on Christmas Eve 2018, and by February 18th, 2019, the world as we knew it had ended. The airborne virus started like a common flu, but within 2 days, its victims' internal organs began to shut down until eventually their heart exploded and they died. As of today, 99.89% of the world's population has died due to the virus and the collapse of society. America is a graveyard of rotting cities and ghost towns. Corpses still litter the silent streets and abandoned homes. Strange psychic powers and wild physical mutations have infected many of those who've survived the virus. And these mutations are a great source of fear, panic, and anger for normal, unaffected survivors. There is maybe some hope on the horizon. Throughout America, there are rumors that 2 cities, Las Vegas and New Orleans, have become a haven. Many are traveling across the country in hopes of finding food, security, and a better tomorrow. This is where I want for Rutherford and Celeste, the two of you, to remind me again what they look like right now, what's on their minds. It's been almost 2 months since the apocalypse began. I want to check in with them. How are they doing? And let's start with Celeste.
She, still has white hair. She is probably more roughed up than before, thinking about what happened last episode. And she is trying to keep it together. It's getting harder and harder basically every day, especially now that the first time, or since about a week or so, it's like discussion probably every day a little bit with Rutherford about where to go next. And she is trying to keep her sanity and basically searching for projects she can focus on, like helping people, looking for stuff, just like things she could focus on to do that has nothing to do with her sister and nothing to do with Dear Jean's jacket guy, and just keep her head on that.
We call Jean's jacket guy Randall Flagg is his name. Celeste, where does she want to go?
she would like to go far away from Vegas or New Orleans, so probably north.
All right. And Rutherford, how's he doing?
Rutherford is not keen on this plan. He knows that the body that he found last week was female and that it had his sister's amulet on it, so he still believes that his sister will be in the south towards Las Vegas. They found evidence. It can only be the only place that she is. And whilst Celeste has been talking about going north, he has been getting quieter and quieter. And I actually took some solace with the mercenary from last week's show and spoke to him a few times, explaining that he thinks that his sister is scared of going to Las Vegas, and that she's letting her fear get in the way of finding their sister. That she has made up this story about seeing their sister as a ghost, so to try and dissuade him, but that I had never seen such a thing.
So we will begin our story today inside the Chenoa Theater, a single-screen, old-timey movie theater in the small, dusty town of Wyandotte, Oklahoma. A week has passed and Celeste and Rutherford faced down a giant worm that was rampaging through the town. With the helps of their new friends Raya and the mercenary Bernard, they set a trap at a gas station, but when the fires of their explosion died out, the worm had vanished, burrowed again underground. They haven't seen it since.
Looks like we got a nerf.
In the past week, the small group of survivors in Wyandotte have mostly moved on to either Las Vegas or New Orleans, afraid that maybe the monster would come back from beneath the town or that other dangerous factions would arrive soon. As of today, only 4 remained behind. Alvin Harrington, the old man who used to run the movie theater, Celeste and Rutherford, who've been healing after their near-death experience with the worm. Celeste in particular needed time to rest before they moved on. And a man named Gabe, who spends most of his time on the outskirts of town, but every once in a while will come into town. Bernard, your friend Rutherford, and the mercenary, he went missing 2 days ago during a trip into downtown Wyandotte. And we've learned a couple of new things over the past week. Celeste and Bernard's investigations into the Indigo Sky Casino, rumored to be haunted, have uncovered some strange happenings in the town before the apocalypse even began. The mayor, a man named Tom Hiltz, seemed to be funneling tax money meant for the town's school district to a corporation called Battelle, which handled a number of classified government contracts in the fields of science and weapons research. And both the Hiltz family, the mayor's family, and Battelle, the corporation, have made significant donations to the Eastern Shawnee Native American tribe that runs the Indigo Sky Casino. Those donations, the last of them, were made just days after the virus went public. So meanwhile, Rutherford's found himself obsessing over the skeleton that he mentioned of a woman found inside the belly of this worm. Celeste believed it to be the remains of their missing sister, but even though the skeleton was grasping Cassie's locket, the sister's locket, there was some odd things that Rutherford's noted about it. Its bones were misshapen, wider than normal human bones, and the acid in the worm's belly had not dissolved the bones or the locket entirely, only the flesh and whatever clothes were on the flesh. This suggests to Rutherford, at least in his mind right now, that the body must have been eaten shortly before they arrived in Wyandotte. So right now, it's February 18th, 2019. You're in the movie theater. The old 1937 film Lost Horizon is playing on the movie screen silently. In the movie, a plane crashes into the Himalayan mountains, and you're watching for a moment as the survivors begin to climb out of the wreckage. It's at this point that Alvin, who's with Rutherford and Celeste, begins speaking to you. I don't know what happened to Bernard, but I think perhaps it's time for you to both go. Leave Wyandotte while you still can. This is not a place for the living. Not anymore.
Yes. But the same is true of you. This place is clearly going to devour you all. I recommend you get as many cars as you can and start heading towards Cumberland.
Well, with everyone else in the town moved on now, I think I'll stay behind. Just me and the Shanoa. This is my home. I have my stories here.
I understand.
You want to stay on your own with that thing out there.
I do not believe that whatever it is wishes to harm me. It has never come here, after all. And if it does, I'm old. I've lived a long life. I'm happy here.
I still would like to see if we can find anything on Bernard. I'm not giving up that easy on him. Especially since we have some ideas.
Well, what ideas do you have?
I still want to check out the casino. That's the only place. We haven't gone there and everything points to that place. And I would like to know if he's there or one of our friends that we are missing as well.
I wonder what happened to the boy, Giles. You would remember Giles as being one of the townspeople or one of the survivor group. It was about 24, about 24 at its peak when you first arrived, and slowly dwindled as people moved on. The only other person to go missing since you arrived, the only other person who didn't just leave town, at least to your knowledge, was Giles Hiltz, which he was the town's prosecutor. He is also the son of the mayor of the town, who you saw the mayor's body inside the grocery store a week ago. If you go looking, perhaps you'll find Giles too.
Maybe. This family, or his family, is linked to the casino as well, so I really want to check that place out before we will have to move on. Although I still don't like the idea of leaving you here on your own.
He has peace here, Celeste. I can understand his wishes.
He looks back to the movie screen. It's old black and white, reel, breaking down for a moment, sputtering, and then starting up again. And somehow it's skipped back. The plane crashes into the mountain. The plane crash survivors begin to climb out of the wreckage. You don't have to worry about me, Celeste. Go and find your sister. And if you can find Bernard, and if you can find Giles, please tell them to visit me. I would like to see them again before they move on too.
We'll definitely tell them if we find them. And if we meet other ones that are searching for a good place to stop, we will point them here.
Indeed.
Well, if you go looking, there might be some information at Town Hall on the casino, or you could go straight there. In either case, I'll leave the door in the back open for you should you need to return.
so much for everything.
Yes, it's greatly appreciated.
Of course. Godspeed to both of you. Take care of yourselves. He goes and he sits down in the back row. He's got a cup of coffee in one hand and an old stale bag of popcorn that he's popped. Puts it in his lap and takes a deep breath and begins watching the movie.
I would get up. I would just, as at least for now, goodbye. Let's see. Put my hand on his shoulder and just squeeze it slightly, and then look at Rutherford and slowly walk towards the back door.
And Rutherford would follow. He wouldn't make such gestures towards Mattel. He believes he understands his wishes.
And as you move together towards the back door, let's cut away from this scene and move over to the side of the road where Gabe and Donovan have met each other. We'll say that a couple of hours have passed, and Gabe, you've just managed to get the car running again. And now you're in this awkward situation of, well, now that the car's running, what's next? How's Donovan been spending the past couple of hours while Gabe's been working on the car?
I'm going to be asking Gabe what's his story and basically, plying him with questions and trying to figure out everything he knows, what's going on, what's happening around here, if anybody else heading down to New Orleans, all that sort of stuff. Also, just a general, so what the hell is wrong with this? It's like, I know how to drive them, but I'm absolutely no good at fixing them.
Gabe, roll me a cool check.
There we go.
So for anyone who's never played Powered by the Apocalypse or Monster of the Week before, just a real quick refresher because it doesn't take much. Anything under a 7 is bad. 6 and under, bad. 7, 8, and 9 is a success if you roll it, but with a negative consequence as well. Anything above a 9, a 10 and above is very good, and that's a 12. So Gabe, you know exactly what's wrong with the car. What was wrong with it?
Well, it turns out that his alternator belt was getting a little worn. So fortunately, I had a spare one in the back of my truck that actually fits the model of his truck. Unfortunately, it's one of these foreign rice grinder things, so it doesn't exactly match up. Took a little work to get everything cinched up just right to make sure it wasn't going to be too loose or anything. So that's what took the most work. But it was just a worn out alternator belt, and his battery was going out. We jump start him, and now he should be running fine.
All right. Well, amazing. You are a miracle worker, sir. I cannot believe you got this going. Thank you so very much. Is there anything I could do for you in exchange for what you have done for me?
Don't worry about it. Nothing that anyone wouldn't do for anyone else. So don't worry about it at all. You're obviously needing to get somewhere, so the easiest I can get you going where you need to go.
Anywhere you need to be getting going?
Well, I'm sticking around here a little while. There's still a few people around that might need a little fresh venison or maybe some pheasant or rabbit and all that to eat. So as long as there's some people around here, I'm going to keep doing what I can to help keep them fed.
That sounds like some mighty good eatings in these days.
Yeah,
Where are all the people around town anyways? How big a town is this?
It's not too big of a town. A couple hundred when I left town and all that. Now I think they're down to like a dozen or less last I heard. People have been filtering out for the past few days and all that, something about some big worm or something.
Worm?
Yeah, they said that there was some big worm poking its head out in different places and attacking people and stuff like that. I've not seen anything like that out hunting, but these days, anything could be possible.
Only thing I've seen worms used for is fishing.
Yeah. If it's a big enough worm, I could probably get myself some nice trout with that thing.
So let me ask a couple of questions. First, Donovan, how well stocked up are you on food? Has he been going hungry? Is he hungry right now?
Not really. He's got a good supply of, non-perishables, but it's certainly not good eating, and the prospect of fresh venison is really tempting.
And when's the last time Gabe went into town to visit Alvin and the rest of the handful of survivors?
Excuse me, what was that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
When was the last time Gabe went into town to check on the survivors in Alvin?
Last time I was in town was about 4 or 5 days ago. It was right before all the big stuff with the worm that supposedly happened. Then I went out on another hunting trip.
So right now it's a very cold day, but a very sunny day in Oklahoma, just past noon. The wind's blowing through the dusty, sort of dirty outskirts of town. Where's Donovan? What's Donovan thinking? What's his next move here?
Well, he was thinking maybe see if he can trade for some of that venison, have himself a nice meal for once. Otherwise, cruise through town, see if he can pick up some extra fuel while he's there, or anything else that might be needful or desirable. And then he was going to get back on the road and, get heading down towards Orleans. That's what he's thinking.
What's Gabe's immediate plan? What's his plan for today now?
Well, my plan right now is, since I got some fresh kill here, I was able to rig a small fridge in the back of the truck that hooks up to the battery of my truck and all that keeps everything cool, at least long enough for me to get it into town. So I was going to head by the theater where everyone is and see how much everyone needed so I could make sure everyone was all right. That was my plans, check on everyone, but see what the needs were before going on my next hunting trip.
So you're standing, both of you, right now outside of Donovan's truck that's just been fixed. And again, the wind is whistling. The dust kind of kicks up into your eyes. There's a moment of quiet.
Well, it looks like the weather's getting ready to kick up something. We might want to head on into town and go into the theater, get a little bit of shelter.
Yeah,
maybe get a little grub.
That doesn't sound like too bad an idea. All right, then. Why don't you lead the way?
All right, just follow me.
Yep.
I'll show you right where it is. Not like there's going to be a lot of track around blocking us from you keeping up with me.
Yeah, well, small mercies, right?
Yep.
And thank you very much to Michael Wayne, who donates another reroll. This one for Gabe, so now we all have a reroll.
Woo!
Except for Don. Don doesn't have a reroll.
And Chad, would love them. I would make very good use of them. Trust me.
Please, no!
In the meantime, each of you gets into your individual trucks, and Donovan, you follow Gabe through the edge of town into downtown proper. And just as he said, Wyandotte's a small town, a poor town. And right now it's a ghost town. There is one noticeable thing for Donovan that is true for Wyandotte, and maybe Gabe has played a part in this. Unlike most towns and cities that Donovan's traveled through, he doesn't see any bodies. Doesn't see dead bodies inside cars left on the side of the road. He doesn't see dead bodies on porches. it's been cleaned of its corpses, and its corpses have been disposed of properly in one way or the other. And so too, there aren't cars clogging up the streets. They've actually been pulled off to the side. So to get into Wyandotte and out of Wyandotte is probably just about as easy as getting in and out of any town that you've seen so far. So it's very, very quick that you are all able to roll into Wyandotte proper. As you're moving towards the downtown area, before you get there, you see the Shinoa movie theater. It's notable because, unlike the other buildings in town, the lights are still on. The billboard on the outside of the theater is lit. It flickers every once in a while, but the light's still there. And instead of a movie title, where you would expect to see a movie title, you see a phrase: God is hope.
Academic or Dan came through for you there, Don, and they've gifted you a reroll.
Dan, I will use it so well, you will not be disappointed.
That's what we're afraid of.
That does not sound good.
All right, this is the place right here. Everyone's just been making do inside the theater, finding either a favorite chair or favorite area or something like that. Why don't you come on in?
All right, then. Don't mind if I do. There are plenty of people around here.
Well, there has been, but the number's been dwindling. Everybody's been heading off either over to Lost Wages or down to Nolans. So those people have been heading out.
I'm on my way down to Nolans myself, but yeah, it's a long way.
Yeah. All right, come on down. I'll show you around.
I'm the next contestant.
The two of you hop out of your trucks and are getting ready to move into the theater. And it's this point that Celeste and Rutherford, you're coming around from the back of the building to where you've parked your armored van just down the street a little bit. And so as you're coming around the corners of the building, you would probably see Gabe and Donovan before they see you as they're getting out of the truck.
And if I got it right, we would know Gabe by now, right?
You would have seen him come in. He lives on the outskirts of town, but it sounds like sometimes, and maybe Gabe does other things around town too, but he comes in and brings you guys meat, venison, maybe like once a week or so. It seems like he swings into town.
Then C would just wave and just call out, "Hey, Gabe."
Hey there, C. How's it going?
Well, still standing, right?
Yep.
Well,
had another successful run. I got some ribeyes and some butterflies there in the fridge. I'll take them down in a little bit. Got a lost lamb who's found his way here. Going to show him around.
Welcome to the town, and I'm sure Alvin will enjoy some meat and proper food.
Oh, and who are you two?
Hello.
I'm Celeste. That's my brother, Rutherford.
Those are absolutely lovely names. What are you doing around these parts?
We are traveling through and helping out a bit, and now searching for someone that got lost.
Oh.
Who's missing?
Bernard is missing.
Uh-oh, that ain't any good.
Nope. And he got lost around here somewhere, so... You didn't see the big worm friend running around town, I guess?
Well, believe it or not, in all my hunting, I've still not seen it pop up yet. I don't know if that just means I'm good at hiding or just plain lucky, one or the other. Maybe a little bit of both.
Probably both. That's nothing you want to meet. So
yep, that's for sure.
Keep an eye open for that.
Oh, I certainly will.
Question is, did you on your way by chance see any signs of Bernard? Just at least to ask.
I don't think I did. The only thing, other than the usual critters running around, the only person I've seen is this gentleman here, Donovan.
Damn.
Hi. Hmm. Gabe, have you ever been to the casino?
I've never been in it. Mom and Daddy raised me not to do that kind of gambling stuff, but I've been by there a few times. I know when I've tracked a deer or two, it's gone nearby there, so I know the territory pretty good.
Donovan perks right up at talk of going to the casino.
Celeste has her mind set on going to the casino as hopefully finding our friends, correct, Celeste?
That's the last place we haven't checked out around here, and we know something weird is going on there. So it might give us answers for at least something, maybe where the worm came from, or where our people are, what happened with the explosion.
You guys need a little help? I can get this meat unloaded, and we can go out in the four-wheel drive, save a little time getting there.
Well, if you would be up for joining, but it might be dangerous.
Well, can't be any more dangerous than walking around with my compound bow trying to dodge the supposed worm that you're all talking about.
Well, let's hope we keep your luck and don't meet it again.
You go hunting with a bow?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of black powder around anymore. A lot of it got used up real quick. So I like my bow because that way I don't create any noise, and that way if there is any kind of weird creatures going around, they're not going to necessarily hear them that I'm about. I got my bow and I got my walking stick here. That's all I need.
Speaking of,
I always carry around this walking stick I'm about 5'5", 5'6", and it's maybe an inch or two taller than I am.
I want to say, speaking of weird creatures, it's important to note that Rutherford is giant. I mean, how tall is he now?
If he's still growing, I guess this week he'd be about 7'2".
7'2", and he is a werewolf. I mean, he is a half human, half wolf, covered in fur. He's monstrous looking. That not necessarily in disposition, but an immediate impact. So, now Gabe's seen Rutherford before. As Donovan notices Rutherford just kind of standing there, and Rutherford's been very quiet during this entire conversation. What's Donovan's reaction to that?
It's been fairly quiet, but he's been polite. And by this point, Donovan's learned that, you know what, people are people, and as long as they're not trying to kill him, he's not trying to kill them.
Great, yeah.
And if he does try to kill me, well, I have something to say about that.
That's pretty much a good outlook on life these days.
Well,
and of course, Rutherford, when I said weird creatures, no offense meant towards you at all.
Well, being on the road these days, you see some things you didn't see much of, including a lot of unemployed basketball players.
Again, the dust kicks up from the ground. It's still sunny above, but the wind is very strong today, and it's cold. It's maybe 20 degrees Fahrenheit below freezing, and you can feel it standing out here now, especially with the wind passing by you. You can feel it in your bones.
Yeah, looks like we're getting a chilly one. You better make sure you got your jackets on if we're going to go out gallivanting in the woods. Of course, Rutherford, you got yours built in, but the rest of us don't quite have that luxury.
I don't know. I could use a new poncho sometime soon. This one's got a little crusty.
Maybe we should keep an eye open around here before we leave. Not sure how many ponchos would have been stolen. Or maybe we can find a blanket and do something with that.
Any sort of clean rag would probably do.
Oh, you need something? You need a rag? I go to the back of my truck, pull out a clean grease rag, and toss it towards Rutherford. Here you go.
Catches it. I meant something a little larger for decency's
Oh,
sake.
okay. I thought you just said a rag, not that kind of rag. I'm sorry.
No, it's appreciated. Thank you, Gabe.
Maybe there's some kind of clothing store around here, and we might be able to stitch you up something a little bit bigger.
Maybe one of the mannequins at the casino might also still have some.
Donovan spent some time at casinos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He knows there's going to be gift shops.
Oh, yeah. Is this just a casino? Does it have a hotel attached to it?
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't know if he knows the area very well, but Gabe would know it having seen it. The Indigo Sky is, if you see this behind me, that is the Indigo Sky Casino and Hotel. It's very nice. It's a rather large casino, by far the largest structure in and around Wyandotte.
Well, certainly if it was a hotel, we can probably find a number of blankets that we could make something out of.
I'm certain if we rummage around enough, we should be able to find something if it hasn't been ransacked by everybody else. So, all right, I'm gonna get all the meat unloaded, take it on downstairs so we can be ready to roll.
Celeste would help if you need a hand to be quicker.
Oh, sure, go right ahead. Sooner we get it down, the sooner we get rolling.
You taking the meat inside to drop off at the theater, the movie theater?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're able to take it in through the back, and you enter in into the theater. And as you move into the theater, you'll see in the back of the theater, sitting in the back row, is Alvin. He's now asleep. His head's back in his chair, and he's kind of just snoring very quietly, not a loud snore, but an occasional. And again, as Celeste, as you're walking in and bringing the meat to where you guys keep it, you have a cooler set up to keep it cold. If you glance over your shoulder, you'll see again, looks like the film has gotten stuck and is rewound a little bit, and you see the plane crash into the Himalayan mountainside, and a couple seconds later you see the survivors of the wreckage climb out into the cold.
She's tempted to try to fix that, but she has no idea from films and how to do that, so she will just leave it with Alvin. When he's back awake, she guesses he can fix it.
Thank you very much, Ed, who's just dropped a sub bomb. We have 5 gifted subs. Those out there have just been gifted a sub. If you would like to gift us a re-roll, please let us know who you'd like to get it.
Good. Here's your lesson plan.
All to me.
You got your ration, Don. You got your ration.
I'm a greedy keeper.
Well, to be fair, there are 5, and there's 5 of us, so we could just go for another one each.
That's true. I guess that would be fair. I'll let them shout it out in chat. We'll see how that rolls out, and give them a chance to throw down.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you drop off the meat. You load it into the coolers. Alvin continues to sleep unless you wake him up. He's the only one left. Everyone else is gone.
Yeah, we'll let him sleep. He's been working his butt off trying to take care of everyone. I think we got him well stocked for a while. Don't know what he sees in this movie, though. It's way too depressing. For my taste, anyway.
It's not vampires anymore, so... Yeah, let's give him some peace and rest. And thanks for the offer to check the casino to see if we can find Bernard and maybe some others.
No problem. Whatever I can do to help, we got to make sure that everyone's safe and all. So, besides, I haven't been able to do a lot of hunting there yet. It'll be a good chance to scout the territory out.
Welcome, Bites and Brews Raiders. Oh, hi. Thank you very much for the raid.
Welcome, Raiders. We are in post-apocalyptic America, Oklahoma, and we are about to go visit a casino that's empty and rumored to be haunted, as our main character Celeste and Rutherford continue to look for their sister and now their missing friend Bernard, who is trying to, in chat, bribe me to let his character still be alive. We'll see.
Don't give him more rerolls to bribe him.
Wait, I didn't hear anything about haunted.
Well, it's rumor, so we don't know for sure.
You don't really believe in all that stuff, do you, Donovan?
At this point, I've seen too much to rule those sorts of things out. Personal experience.
We will just have to be careful. As far as I know, the casino was run by the Native Americans around here, so as far as I understood, most of them are still gone or left as well. So let's see, maybe it's just empty. No one is there. We don't know.
Since I'm a local, would I know which tribe it was, or which tribal council it was that owned / ran the casino?
Absolutely. You would know a couple of things, and we touched on last week, but I'll just speed through it. Casino was owned and operated by the Eastern Shawnee tribe. And the Eastern Shawnee was, their chief was a woman named Gloria. They were, for a time, here at the movie theater when the area was a little more populated, but the tribe itself left a couple of weeks back now at this point. As supplies in Wyandotte began to run down, they abandoned first the casino and then this area of the city proper, and they've all moved on.
All right, well, then I go and get up lead the way up, open up the doors for the truck. Fortunately, there's enough, it's a nice extended cab, so it's got room for all four of us to sit in there, reasonably comfortable. And open up the doors for everybody. Get on in.
Before we leave, I would go to our car and same as last week, basically, opening the trunk and getting her next rifle out, just to be prepared for whatever comes.
Yeah, Celeste has a lot of guns, guys, just so you know.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
When she comes back around, she has a bunch of guns on her.
Oh,
my granddaddy would love to see those. May he rest in peace.
Well, I don't have to use them.
If we're going to be doing this, I'll bring my shotgun.
Just to be safe, it might be good. At least that's what I learned here.
Well, if you're bringing guns, I might as well bring guns.
Let's hope we don't need them, but better safe than sorry.
So as we lock and load and we all get into the truck and start off towards the Indigo Sky Casino, which is on the other side, on the outskirts of town, on the other side of town. I will say we're going to take those subscriptions and we're going to be fair. We're going to give one to everybody, including myself. So now everybody has 2 re-rolls. Now, for anyone watching, or you guys, if you haven't played with re-rolls here before, you can use them on yourself, or you can gift your re-roll to somebody else if they really need it. So just keep that in mind. You start, the 4 of you, driving through downtown, and I'll let you all make me a sharp check here.
Nope, I didn't do so hot. I'm busy driving.
Oh. There we go.
Mm.
And a 7 for Donovan. So Celeste with an 11. You're the one who, and maybe it's because you've been out and about and you've done a little bit of investigation here in town, and because you've seen the creature yourself, you recognize as you're moving through the downtown area that there's a number of buildings that have collapsed, and these weren't collapsed before. These are newer demolitions, so to speak, and they all seem to be in a row of this main street leading towards the downtown area. You're currently, it's almost like you're following a line of like every 3rd or 4th building has been knocked down.
Dead out. Looks like our worm friend is having a tunnel here. I'm not sure if you want to go to maybe a side road if there's even a chance to get through, or
Well, with the way I've got this thing souped up, we don't even need the road. We can go cross country if you want.
might be safer.
So how's Gabe gonna approach this?
Well, I'm gonna look for, obviously, since this is going to be probably farm field area, there's going to be some fences. Eventually, there's going to be a gate to get into the pasture field. I'm going to look for the first one I see on the side of the road that we need to go towards the casino and go through that way. Unless I see a big enough hole in the fence.
Roll me a cool check. So you know the way to the casino, and you know how to kind of cut through if you're willing to smash through fences. And you do. The pickup truck picks up speed. He turns off the main road. He crashes through a fence and starts driving through backyards. You're worming your way through back alleyways to try to get away from the downtown area and to skirt around it in an efficient manner. I need Donovan to make me a weird check.
Oh, of course. Okay, well, not horrible.
Let's see, I haven't seen it pop up yet.
No, I got an 8.
Okay. Oh, there it comes. Donovan, you, as you move, the car moves through and you're crashing through fences and it's rattling. You're bouncing up and down in the back of this pickup. You come to another road, and again, Gabe starts following the road, and this is moving, Gabe would know, towards the direction of the casino. It's pretty much a straight line now. Even though the ride becomes less bumpy and kind of settles down, something in the pit of your stomach, Donovan, feels very, very uncomfortable. I don't know how he deals with anxiety or if he feels much of anxiety, but you're feeling it now and you're not sure why.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Something's bugging me.
How so?
It just don't feel right. I'm gonna check my shotgun, make sure it's loaded and ready.
What's everyone else doing on the trip? Any just keeping an eye out or anything in particular?
I'm primarily focusing on the road, trying to make sure don't run into any ditches or something like that that'll get us hung up and all that. Primarily focus on the driving and getting us there quickly and in one piece.
Keep an eye open for any signs of the worm.
All right. And how about Rutherford? Anything? No.
Rutherford's sort of brooding. Wondering what they're doing, really checking out the casino. Bernard was quite capable, you know. Despite what happened in the fight with the worm, he survived. Rutherford's sort of, probably sitting in the back, just kind of looking out, but more mulling things over in his own mind.
Rutherford, make me a weird check. And remember, you have -1 to your result. Okay. Celeste, make me a sharp check. And Gabe, make me a cool check.
I'm putting the -1 as part of the roll.
Okay. So Rutherford, as you're kind of brooding and staring out the window as you're driving away from town to the outskirts of town, it is a little bit of a distance through nothing, just old dirty roads, no buildings really, or rare buildings before you get to the casino. You do see at one point, as you're driving past, a large rocky outcropping. Almost looks like it was shaped that way or put there by someone. So kind of stark and contrasting is it to the bleak just sort of dirt around it. You see, as you're driving past, a man sitting on the edge of that rock, blue jeans, blue jean jacket, long, curly, dark hair. He dips his head towards the truck as you pass by and flashes you a smile.
Rutherford acknowledges this with sort of by just tilting his head, which is not a natural expression for him. It's something that he's picked up from his new changes. It's more like anything else to tilt his head. I don't think he would say anything though. If anyone is close by, they may hear him mutter under his breath, Las Vegas.
Celeste would hear Las Vegas for sure with a 12 sharp check.
She will flinch on that move, but not just like not the time.
I'll say, Celeste, with a 12, you also see several overturned cars, and there's a little trailer park. You can see it's like half a mile off the side of the road if you were to take another dirt road. And this trailer park has just been rampaged. Like the trailers are overturned, smashed. Half of the park is swallowed into the earth.
I would point that out to the driver, just that he knows that that's not the direction to go. And
Yeah, I think we want to stay away from there.
This thing.
Who knows what kind of riffraff might be still hanging around there.
I hope no one was left in the trailer park.
I don't know. That got put in after I left and came back and all that, so I don't know how many people were actually living there.
You drive past the trailer park, and it's just another couple of minutes before you get to the Indigo Sky Casino. This is a tall, once beautiful building, still beautiful relatively, and with an overflowing crystal blue fountain pond on the outside of it. And the side of the building is a symbol. This is a symbol you've probably seen several places in Wyandotte. It's a large blue circle containing the silhouette of a panther, a spear, and then beneath the spear, a swan with 4 hanging feathers beneath the swan. Gabe, being a resident of Wyandotte, you would know this is the tribal flag, the tribal heraldry for the Eastern Shawnee tribe. You would also see as you're approaching that the parking lot is mostly empty and that there seem to be lights on from the first floor, at least on the inside. Maybe not all of them, but you can just make out enough to know that, unlike most of the town and most of the places in the world, there's still electricity on the inside of this place.
Interesting. I know here out in Las Vegas, all those fancy casinos have their own electrical generators and stuff like that. I wonder, looks like they may have done the same thing here. The only question is, did someone just forget to turn the lights off, or is there someone actually in there already? As I pull in and stop, decent distance, a decent safe distance in the parking lot from the main building.
Gabe pulls the truck to a stop at the edge of the parking lot, not right in front of the building. And as he does, the truck shudders a little bit as it comes to a stop.
Uh-oh, that ain't good.
That's not good.
Can I tell if it came from the engine itself or it was from outside of the car?
Make me a sharp check.
11.
It's beneath the car. It's not the car.
That wasn't my truck. I quickly start. Have I shut the engine off yet? I quickly crank the engine and try to pull forward.
I'll let you do another cool check.
Rutherford will jump off, reducing the weight and also able to investigate.
And I'm going to use one of my re-rolls here to make you re-roll this cool check again.
Ah! One more time. I need to get inside that casino real quick.
So I think we have a sub potion coming in here. I'm just going to go ahead and roll this real quick so we can bring this into play. This one is going to be for Celeste.
Why did I say last week that I didn't get a potion yet? Now they're coming in.
Oh yeah, and that reminds me, Celeste. Your cough has been in and out. But as Gabe is fighting to get the engine started, you feel the truck starting to rock as the ground beneath it's quaking. He does, at first he fails and the engine shuts down and he starts the keys again and then it starts to kick up. And as he picks up speed, you start coughing.
Great. All is well.
Roll me a tough check so I get the results of this potion in here.
11.
You kind of tap your chest and swallow, and the cough goes away. This is kind of serendipitous. Your potion result is removes lesser curse.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
So you're feeling a little bit better. You've got a lingering cough, but it hasn't gone the way of Captain Trips. Not yet. Maybe it won't. Gabe, as you kick the truck into gear and start to speed off again, what's his plan? What's he doing?
I'm going to go forward at least 100, 150 yards if I can, and then turn around, then eventually turn into the right angle so I can be facing where I was, so I can see what was if I can see what was causing the rumbling that we were feeling.
Yeah, roll me a sharp check.
And while we drive on, I would yell to Rutherford to get out of there and away of there.
Gabe, you spin the truck and the wheels screech against the asphalt of the parking lot. You do see, because the ground rises, you don't see what's beneath the ground, but it's like the ground's being pushed up. And as that hill sort of comes up out of the back of the parking lot where your car was just parked a minute before, it starts moving forward, and whatever's beneath the earth is tunneling straight towards you. And because you turned the truck, this is your negative consequence of rolling an 8, because you've turned the truck so that you can better see what is coming. It's coming straight barreling towards the side of your truck.
Can I try to tackle it?
You want to get out of the truck?
The surface, right?
It's underneath the surface. You want to try to tackle the mound?
Yeah, what's the point of all these mutations if I can't do cool shit? Yeah, let's dive on it.
All right, well, what's everyone else doing in that case?
Do we want to get out, or do you want me to just do evasive driving?
I would try to get out and yell probably to Gabe as well.
All right.
And Donovan.
Let's bail out.
Bail out.
Right. Everyone bails out except for me. I'm going to hop into the driver's seat.
And what's Donovan's plan?
Punch it. If they're all on foot, I don't know what they're planning to do, but at the moment, I'm basically gonna, it's coming for the truck. I'm gonna try and get the truck out of the way, stay in the parking lot. I'm not just gonna ditch them and basically do some evasive maneuvering, drive around, see whether it's going to go after them or going to go after me, and figure out what I'm going to do from there.
All right. So, Donovan, roll me a cool check. Rutherford, Celeste, and Gabe, roll me tough checks.
Ooh.
I want to use my reroll.
I'm using one of your rerolls on that tough.
Woo!
Better.
That's much better.
Much better. Much better.
Tough for me as well, yeah, Don.
That's right, yeah. So the form underneath the asphalt barrels towards the truck. Donovan hops into the front seat and squeals the tires as he pulls away and spins the truck out. You can feel the truck rock, Donovan, as it goes up like this, and you almost tip over. But with that cool check, you manage to turn the car just enough so that it rocks back down as this thing barrels underneath the truck. Meanwhile, Celeste and Gabe, you're able to get out of the way as it comes speeding towards the truck itself. And Rutherford, you're able to chase this down with your preternatural speed. I will let you jump on top of it, and if you want to try to, what's he trying to do once he gets on top of this mound? Because this thing is moving beneath the earth.
I try and, I mean, this is through asphalt, right? So I'll try and, like, dig through the asphalt, I guess, and try and grip hold of the thing. To stop it doing all of this crazy shit that it's doing.
Excellent. Roll me one more tough check.
I've got this.
And then we're going to go at this point to...
I've got a reroll, so I'll use it.
Use one of your rerolls. All right.
Looks like we got a new friend.
The dice have spoken. The dice have spoken.
So,
thank you so much for the raid, Isriva. Welcome.
Unfortunately, claws don't work well against asphalt.
Nope.
But he tried. So this is how initiative works in Monster of the Week. It's going to start with Rutherford this time, and he's going to choose who gets initiative next, and we pass it around until everybody's had a turn. So Rutherford, you're digging through the asphalt. You've reached this thing, and then all of a sudden, it comes up. It comes out of the ground, and you can all see it now. This is the worm. The purple and green, hard, scaly flesh, larger than it was before as it comes and bursts out of the ground. Rutherford, you do grab on, but you're taken straight up into the air, and then it bucks its head, and you are flown through the air. You're flicked off of its head, and you go sprawling back towards the asphalt below. You smash through the windshield of a parked car.
Ouch.
The car alarm begins to sound. This is for 3 harm.
Oh, okay, so with my armor and my immortal, I take 1 harm.
1 harm.
Did we reset harm from last week?
You went down to, you healed 1, so you should have started this session at 1 harm. So you have 2 now.
Yes, indeed.
So you smash through the windshield. That is your turn. Who do you pass it off to next?
I think I will pass it to Donovan.
All right, Donovan, you're in the truck.
I'm in the truck. This thing was chasing me, and now it's burst out of the ground and flung Rutherford into a car. So I am going to go... what does it seem to be doing? Just kind of flailing around at the moment, or is it going after somebody?
It explodes out of the ground. It flicks Rutherford off of its back. It doesn't have eyes, not that you can see, but the head of it, the top of it, does turn down straight at the truck that you're driving. And you see that its maw, whatever it is that is in the front of it, which comes to a point like a beak, that beak begins to open this way and open this way, 4 points. It's peeling away from its front slowly.
Right then, and roughly how tall?
Oh,
How
25
much? 25 feet
20
sticking out of the ground?
25 feet sticking out of the ground right now. And more, you could assume, still inside.
Right then. the logical thing to do is essentially charge it with the truck, but not to actually hit, just drive by, so that hopefully the beak, comes down and misses me because I'm driving towards it. And essentially, I'm just trying to keep its attention and, help everybody else out by, not having them eaten.
Okay. Do you have a specific move you're using, or is this just, do you have a special ability you're doing, or is this just normal cool check otherwise?
I mean, I guess I'm helping out people in some way, trying to distract it or keep attention. I don't know what that would be exactly. I do know I get +1 because I have driver.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Yeah.
You go ahead and let's call it we'll call it a cool check +1. You just roll cool and we'll add 1.
Yeah. I'll add the 1 here. Nice dice roll. Ask me if I want to. Ooh,
Perfect.
Only an 8. That's not gonna be good. So I'll punch it, drive straight towards it. Oh, fucking graboids.
You do manage to keep its attention. You see it turn towards you as you're driving towards it. It comes down in an arc, and as it does, its maw opens up all the way 4 points this way. You can see a long lashing tongue dripping translucent liquid and large globs down to the ground. And as that liquid hits the ground, it sizzles and burns, creating potholes in the ground. And though you are able to keep its attention and avoid it as it comes smashing downward behind the truck, as you speed off past it, you hit one of these potholes. Make me another cool roll.
All right. Do I get my +1 from driving from this too?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's potholes, so. Woo, 11.
You manage to keep the truck from spinning out. One of the tires blows and it begins to spin, but you course correct. You get the feeling, though, that this truck is not going to be very manageable for long.
Right then, there are other cars here in the parking lot. I'm just gonna take a look for a nice older model car. Nice and old one, see if I can see anything as I pass initiative to Celeste.
Perfect. Celeste, it's your turn.
So the worm is now focusing on Donovan in the car.
And it's just smashed into the ground again. It's pulling back up off the ground and turning its body around to look at Donovan and the truck. You are all maybe 40 feet or so from the front doors, or the area where you'd enter the front doors of the casino, if you can enter that way.
I would yell out for the others, get to the casino, and I would stand still, pull out my hunting rifle, and try to shoot it.
All right. Take your shot. You do. How much damage does it do?
I think 2 harm.
2 harm. You see the thing turn as your bullet ricochets off of its outer shell, and now it turns towards you, and that 4-cornered beak shuts tightly and then slowly reopens, and that long tongue lashes out and begins scratching, dripping along the ground. It hasn't started moving towards you yet.
Can I at least move a bit towards the casino as well?
You can start to make a run for the casino. As you take off, we'll move over to Gabe, the last in the initiative this turn.
All right. Can I tell, is this a natural or unnatural creature?
Do you have an ability? Do you have to make a check or anything? Let's see.
I don't know if there's a thing for me to make a check on that or not.
I'm checking here for you.
I don't see anything.
Roll me. That's okay. Yeah, roll me. Let's call it a sharp check.
Okay, that would make sense. Nope, I don't know.
Yeah, you've never seen anything like this. I mean, you've heard the stories of the worm, but this is bigger than the stories. And Celeste and Rutherford, you would know this is bigger than the worm was the last time you saw it. It's gotten larger in the past week. Yeah, you're
all right.
Gabe, you're not sure.
Okay, that was going to determine what I did next. Is Donovan still in old Bessie, my truck, or is he outside of it at this point?
I think he's gotten out and is looking for. He's trying to find another car.
Okay.
Essentially, I was going to look for an older model car if I can, and basically drive towards it, then hop out of the truck and try and get in that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's in transition between vehicles currently.
All right, I'm going to look towards Rutherford. How far is he away from me and from getting to inside the casino?
Rutherford's the furthest away because he got thrown back into the parking lot proper.
Mhm.
You could get to him this turn.
All right,
You
I'm going to
can
go
not
toward.
direction.
I'm going to sprint as fast as I can towards Rutherford to make sure that he can get into the casino safe. See if he needs help getting inside.
All right. Is there
I'm
anything
not
else
too
you
worried
want
about see at this point since she's got the gun.
or is there anything else you're trying to do besides move on your turn?
Oh, not really. My main concern is getting them both inside right now.
Great. So we'll call this a help out. Roll me plus cool.
Okay. So cool +1. Is that what you said?
Oh no, just roll me a cool check. Yeah.
Just roll cool. Okay. Sorry, misunderstood.
So when you use the help out move, just like with Donovan, you do help them out. Rutherford will have +1 next turn on whatever action he takes as you're helping him get up off the hood of this car. However, it does expose you to harm. And as Celeste runs towards the casino and you run in the opposite direction, now you're the one who has the attention of this worm. And it is barreling towards you. It's dive back down into the earth. You can see just the top of its body exposed as it breaking the asphalt, breaking the ground, coming straight towards you. I need a tough check. With an 11, I'll say you are able to pull Rutherford up and then pull both of you out of the way a moment before this thing smashes into the car that Rutherford was just on top of. And the car goes flying back 10 feet, rolls several times, and leans up against another larger vehicle, a minivan, before it comes to a full stop. But you don't take any harm.
All right, Rutherford, let's get you inside here before this worm tries to turn us into bait.
You got it.
It's Rutherford's turn now, too.
We tried to kill this thing before and we nearly lost all of us. Just get inside and I'll make my way inside. But on the way, is there like a smaller car about? Like a compact or like a, smart car style thing,
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually one of those like mini city vehicles that are like half the size of a normal car where you can sit two people in, scrunched together tightly. There's one of those.
Tuk-tuk.
As I'm running towards the entrance, I'd like to pick up this tuk-tuk and throw it at the worm.
Absolutely. Roll me a tough check. And you do have +1.
Ooh, 9 even with the +1. +1/+3. You know what? Reroll. I should get better than that. I'm rolling way below average.
You're using your last reroll.
Using my last reroll, Pop 'em while you got him. That'll do.
You pick up the car and you throw it through the air. Anybody who witnesses this is stronger than even maybe you thought Rutherford was capable of. This is probably the first time he's ever thrown a car, I think, in his life, right? You do it. You throw the car through the air and the worm turns as it's rising up again. It smashes right into its face. We'll call it 4 harm. as it cracks into the worm's face. The worm then comes down and opens its maw again. 4 points open up and it goes over top of the car, and you watch it swallow this mini vehicle up into its maw. And for a moment, it's distracted as it devours this wannabe car.
Haha! I sort of like touch the amulet on my I'm wearing around my neck. My sister's amulet. I'm like, I should have a hard time digesting that one. Let's go.
Remind me never get you angry at me, big boy.
It's the first time I've tried that. I'm kind of full of adrenaline right now. Let's get inside.
Let's do it.
All right, and so Rutherford, you run towards the casino. You're almost caught up with Celeste with your preternatural speed. Who do you toss initiative off to?
I will give it to Gabe since he's right here with me.
All right.
I'm following Gabe. I'm basically on his heels as close as I can since I'm not as fast as he is, but following that same path, making sure he gets inside.
All right, roll me a tough check. You are following behind, and you are keeping up as well as you can. You're not that far behind, but the negative consequence is that once the worm finishes slurping up this vehicle, it turns towards the both of you. And again, it's tunneling through. You've got a bit of a head start, but it's catching up quickly.
Well, that reminds me, thank you very much, Otherdoc, for the resub. 8 months in a row, you have a reroll to gift a player of your choice.
Who do you toss initiative off to, Gabe?
All right, I will give it to Donovan at this point.
Donovan.
All right. Well, I assume I've managed to locate a car by now. I can smash the window, unlock it, and start quickly hotwiring it.
All right, roll me a cool check, and I'll give you your +1 to see if you can hotwire this thing quickly.
Alrighty. I do get hotwiring is wonderful side effect of having that, so. It's only an 8. That'll be fun.
All right. Do you use? Oh, so you got an 8. You have two rerolls. I'll throw that out to you. All right.
I'm very aware.
You get the car moving. You hotwire it. What's the plan now? Once it starts up.
All right. So the worm seems to be paying attention to our big fellow and our little fellow over there. So I'm gonna start squealing those tires. I'm gonna punch it, driving straight towards it. I'll start hitting the horn, which now plays La Cucaracha. And how far away am I from the worm? Is the worm like traveling at ground level, or is it upwards and like in striking again?
It's at ground. It's just above ground level, breaking through the earth, following Rutherford on the heels currently of Gabe. It's ahead of you, so if you want to try to drive past it, basically everyone now is moving straight towards the front doors of the casino.
Right then, it's in front of me, so basically I'm gonna try and catch up to it and pull up alongside of it and distract it by firing my shotgun at it while playing La Cucaracha repeatedly.
Excellent. I'm going to give you, go ahead and roll me a tough check.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
And you're going to have -1, and we'll describe why here in a second.
Do I also get +1 because I'm driving?
No, not with your shotgun check.
Fair enough. I'm trying. So.
All you can do is ask.
No, please always do.
Ooh, that's a 7. So excellent.
A 6.
I like this.
No, that's a 7 total.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like this.
I am going to use one of my rerolls. Go ahead and do that tough check -1 again. Yeah.
Really? Oh.
So
All right, so this is gonna be fun. Make me suffer.
So you've hotwired the car. You're pulling it up alongside. You've caught up with the worm. You level your shotgun through the broken window that you shattered to get into the car, and the hot wire for a moment stutters and the car stalls. And as it does, you pull the trigger. The shotgun blast goes errant, and the worm turns into you. It rocks the side of your car, and it goes tumbling over 3 times, landing upside down. And were you buckled or not buckled?
I'm buckled. I'm a professional driver.
So you will only take 2 harm from this car crash, but now you find yourself in a situation. You are buckled in, which probably saved your life, but it is also kind of pinning you to the inside of this car. And as you can smell gasoline.
Oh, fun times. Movie physics.
The only kind of physics I know. How's Donovan reacting immediately before we move it over to Celeste?
I don't know. How many times am I allowed to say "oh shit" on the air?
As often as necessary.
Often as necessary.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm trying to get myself free of this belt. Obviously, I'm going to try the actual belt release first.
Okay. So we'll get to his belt release then at the start of his next turn. As he's trying to get himself unpinned, Celeste, it's your turn, and you've reached the front door of the casino now. You can see the lights on the inside, neon lights, blue lights. At a glance, everything looks very pristine on the inside, but as you turn around, you will see Gabe and Rutherford running towards you just in time to catch this worm toss Donovan and the car he was in over several times. It's now upside down.
How far away is the car?
20, 25 feet, relatively close.
I would pull out my knife, or basically just run towards the car and use my leave no one behind move that I have now. So I will roll sharp, and maybe I manage to get you out of there.
Absolutely, go for it.
I will use a reroll.
Okay. You have 1 reroll left. Oh, that's so much
bingo.
So much
That's a good
better.
reroll.
So, with a 10 plus, you get them out clean. No harm done. So I would sprint for the car, probably seeing that he's fighting, and pulling out my knife just to cut him loose and pull him out. And try to drag him towards the casino.
Donovan, she reaches in through the same window that you shattered to break into the car. She cuts the seatbelt and she pulls you out. She's strong. Celeste is maybe stronger than she looks. She pulls you out with ease through the open window onto the parking lot and manages to get you up on your feet, and the two of you start speeding off towards the front of the casino. Is anybody doing anything other than trying to get inside the casino?
As we're running, I'm watching to see what Celeste is doing and see how Donovan is.
As we're running, I have one small thing I plan to do, but go ahead.
I would be trusting my companions to survive, and I would like to use my preternatural speed to get into the casino with enough time to check what's in there to make sure we are not jumping out of the frying pan and into a fire.
Great. And what's Donovan want to do as you guys are running towards the casino?
I want to light my Zippo and throw it back to this car that's clearly leaking gasoline.
So that sounds like a cool check.
Well, I guess it is rule of cool.
Rule of cool.
If you get a 10 or higher, you don't look back. Is that right?
Rutherford, you can roll me a sharp check.
That's a 9. That'll be interesting. We can stick with the 9.
No, did I say tough? I meant sharp.
That's even
Which
worse
is-
then. With
It's even
sharp,
worse.
just take the +2 off. That's a 4.
All right, great. I love this. You light the Zippo, you throw it over your shoulder. It flips through the air, bounces off the ground, rolls in through the open window, that same open window that, again, you broke open to get into the car. And after a couple of moments, there is an explosion. The car shoots up into the air and then falls down, burning, husking. You all feel it as you're running into the building. The worm, however, before there's an explosion, has burrowed back underneath the earth, and after the car is still on fire, but still, there's no sign of the worm. Rutherford, you run in through the front door. You're the first one in, and you're looking around, and you don't see anything, any body. The opening, the entrance to the casino itself, it's a lobby with a very, very pristine looking bar, blue lit on one side. There's still liquor bottles set out. Slot machines in the open hall across the way from the bar, and then a check-in area that looks like maybe you would go to there if you were going to check in bags to enter into the hotel itself. You don't see any signs of life here as you enter.
Then I would probably turn around to the door and shout to my companions, "Come, it is safe in here, quickly!" I went a little bit Arnie then. That was interesting.
The rest of you are able to get into the casino proper. Again, the worm is gone for the moment.
Well, that was
interesting to say nothing else. If not spectacular.
I guess that explosion scared it off. Was hoping for something like that.
Hope that it doesn't want to turn over the hotel as it did with the others. Is everyone okay?
Wait, it could turn over the whole fucking hotel?
I don't know. I haven't.
Inside here? Ugh.
Hasn't so far.
Oh, God
This-
fucking damned us anyways. Why the fuck am I saying oh God?
This place looks like it hasn't been touched. Perhaps there is something here putting it off. I cannot see anyone though.
Who knows? Maybe they built this thing so tough that even a worm couldn't bore through it.
Perhaps.
Hope so.
All right, God willing, let's keep moving and see if we can find who we're looking for.
Agreed.
I will have my rifle out and carefully moving forward and trying to look for any signs of that someone was here not too long ago.
Yeah. Shotgun. Is everybody armed?
My bow got left in the truck. We didn't have time to grab it, but I still have my walking stick with me.
All right.
I'm fine.
I will pass Gabe.
I can
will
swing
hand
this
Gabe
thing
my
around.
shotgun.
I can swing this thing around like Robin Hood in his quarterstaff, or Buck in the quarterstaff, so I'll be all right.
You sure you don't want this?
I'm sure. You hang on to that. I'll be fine.
Okay. I've got another piece, so.
Yeah, if you need something, I have also some left over.
Save it for backup.
Okay.
All right.
Rutherford is also notably unarmed, but sort of just stretches, and you see the claws and teeth.
Yeah, I already saw Rutherford just charge the thing with his claws in that, and I'm like, you probably don't want a gun.
Oh no, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would lower his effectiveness, I think. All right, where do we go from here?
Are there any mannequins around with fresh, clean ponchos on?
There is a gift shop. It's got its metal gates have been lowered over the front doors, and the lights on the gift shop are off. But you can see that there is a gift shop.
I might just quickly pop in here and see if I can get a clean change of clothes. It's been a while since I found anything that fits me.
If you find t-shirts or so, grab me one or two.
Yeah, sure.
Rutherford, roll me a tough check and a cool check.
Well, hang on a minute. A tough check for going shopping? What have you got planned? Do I still have a +1 going forward?
No, not currently. We're in a new scene.
Yeah. That's a 9 on the tough check. And then what was the other one?
Okay. A cool check. So,
Of course, Rutherford's very cool.
Rutherford, you are able to very easily, like, just pull this gate, bend the bars, lift it up, and get inside this gift shop. And once inside, you're very happy to find out that this place has not really been looted and was recently stocked before whenever the last time anyone was in here. You see a number of t-shirts with various prints. What kind of t-shirt or what kind of poncho, what does Rutherford want to find here?
Okay, so
wants is what he gets.
Rutherford wants to find a really, like, you know, like, okay, I put them on the mood board, like a sort of, not white, he doesn't want to go white, he's made that mistake before, maybe like a brown or tan poncho that's like a full body one, a proper one, rather than just the piece of cloth with a hole in it he has been wearing. So it's got like a belt and stuff, so it actually looks like regular clothes. And for Celeste, he would like to find the pinkest, sparkliest, most annoying t-shirt that he can possibly find because he knows it will drive her crazy. So like a throwback to when there wasn't all the apocalypse going on and they could just be brother and sister ticking each other off, you know, like...
So mom and dad went to Wyandotte and all I got was this t-shirt.
But like pink with like sparkles, you know, like it's written in glitter font. Like...
Does it have an arrow pointing sideways and say, "I'm with the werewolf"?
The old "I'm with stupid" t-shirt.
Or does "I'm with Scruffy"?
So you're able to find a brown poncho that looks a little more suitable, a little more like normal clothing. Maybe you feel like maybe it'll make you feel a little bit more human. It'll definitely be better for covering up dried blood stains than the other. And you're able to find a t-shirt, pink sparkly letters. Are you grabbing anything else from this gift shop before you step back out?
If you say it hasn't been looted, then I'll look at the snacks. I'm hoping they've got a drinks machine in here. I'll grab a bunch of Cokes. I'll grab some, you know, of the more nutritious snacks in here. I mean, obviously the sandwiches are probably spoiled if there's anything like that, but the packaged goods maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the healthy stuff, not so much. All that's gone bad, but pork rinds or potato chips, and then Coca-Cola. It's warm, but there's plenty of them. If you want to smash the machine open, you can grab yourself an armful of Coca-Colas and snacks and bring them outside to everybody as well.
Maybe I'll take a basket from behind the counter. Just like shopping, except with massive claws and tearing everything open.
I watch him doing it. They got any Dr. Pepper in that machine?
Ooh, Dr. Pepper.
I'll just grab everything I can find. Especially bottled water as well. If there's bottled water, I'll be taking that too.
Shouldn't the drinks be cold if the casino still has power?
The casino does, but the power in the gift shop is off. It's been locked down.
Fair enough. They have anything resembling a large hunting knife or some sort there?
Roll me a cool check.
Am I cool enough for a knife? Kind of.
It's like a Swiss multi-purpose tool.
Damn it! I already got one of those.
So at this point, what's Celeste doing? Is they're searching too? Just want to kind of get a stance for everybody.
She would leave them be and would carefully move more into the casino to try to get a look on where maybe there are the stairs up or stairs down, just to have a look around to have an idea, and maybe also having an eye on where maybe there could be a door out that is not the main door we used, but like a back door.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. The casino's massive. It's very large. There's probably numerous exits. Part of it's the hotel, and especially on the upper floors, you can reach the hotel through the elevator. The elevator's at the end of the lobby, on the far end of the bar, past the slot machines. That's how you would probably get up, but you would also, if you were to walk far enough, walk to the elevators, you'd see, there's stair access there as well.
Yeah, I would suspect stairs near the elevator in case of emergencies, because she doesn't want to use the elevator. She wants stairs, definitely.
Meanwhile, Donovan has found a couple of Swiss Army knives. Nothing spectacular. Nothing that looks like a killing machine or a machete or a combat knife.
Or a bow. Maybe the Shawnee were involved in this. I don't know.
Yeah, you can find a bow for sure.
A bow and
how good it is. It looks like, at a glance, it looks like maybe it's the kind of thing that they would sell to, tourists.
Well, I'll grab that and, offer it up to Gabe. And I don't know how good this is, but you seem to be, kind of a bowman.
I can give it a try. So I go ahead and take it from him.
The arrows are sharp. You'll say it's not as good as a real bow, because again, it's kind of the chintzy thing that you'd make for tourists. But I will give you a
standard bow. It's going to be a standard bow though, but not a compound.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Fair enough.
That's all right. Just got to make do with what you got.
So I will be familiar with the general layout of casinos, especially the back rooms and that, because I've had a lot of experience in those.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously the gaming floor is very, very wide open, very easy to see around. But I'd probably be able to navigate around the back rooms, back office, and all of that.
So what's our plan here then, as we have looted the gift shop and kind of taken stock of everything? Where are we searching? What are we looking for?
With my hunting skills, I'll see if I can do any tracking to see if I can see any kind of recent footprints or paths leading anywhere. Certainly, if people have been roaming around, they've probably tracked in dust and dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a sharp check. And we're calling this investigate a mystery. So on a 7, you are able to ask me one of the following questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? Which, who knows what my answer is going to be, but these are the questions that you're allowed to ask. What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
I have a feeling, since we're not just looking to combat the worm if it comes back, but since we're looking for the guy, I think I'm leaning towards the last question. What do y'all think? That's what's being concealed here.
So you're sort of following the tracks of things that don't make sense. People have left wallets, articles of clothing are falling about. The more you check out this casino, the more you realize there are people here when the world went to hell. And even though all of the bodies have been taken out and buried and dealt with so that their corpses aren't lying around, there are pieces of their stories and who they were that have been left behind. What's surprising to you is that you are able to find in the slot machine area on a couple of different chairs, a number of military jackets. Even what looks like with a roll me a cool check.
Ooh.
With a 13, you are able to find on a lanyard, a security clearance card.
I grab the card, take a good look at it. Hey, y'all, I think I found something. This stuff doesn't look... You know the old Sesame Street song, one of these things is not like the others? I think we just found the one of these things.
All right. Take a look at that and see if there's any indication or can figure out from it what it's a security pass for. Is there a
Does this
picture?
look like it?
Yeah,
Take a good look at it.
there's no picture, but it does say General Kingman on it, level 4 security clearance. And it has a number of military codes and symbols on it as well, but unless any of you have served in the U.S. military, then you might not recognize it. Has anyone served?
Real life, I work for the VA, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything for my character. So.
So that-
Donovan's gonna go, are you fucking kidding me?
If you
I
want,
don't know what's going.
I can just
Go
try
ahead.
and rip into it.
You can try to what?
Rip into it. If you want, Donovan, Gabe.
Rip into it?
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Then it doesn't work to open whatever's supposed to open?
Yeah, we
Oh.
need this thing. This car will let us in whatever requires level. Looks like it says level 4 security on it.
Oh, that's a scrap mistake. I thought you were describing the door, not the card. Got it.
Okay.
It's a General Kingman?
Yeah, that name doesn't sound familiar.
Don, does this card look similar to the card we found in the other lab? Or
It
the
does.
other lab?
It does. And Celeste, I'll give this to you too, because you met him. The doctor, not a general, but the doctor who you met in the previous lab was a Dr. Kingman.
I would look at Rutherford. Do you remember Kingman? Our dear doctor?
From the lab.
Yes.
You think this has something to do with him?
Definitely, yes. The card looks similar to what we found and let us in the other lab, so I would say
Okay.
let's have a look around. The question is, where is the lab, on which floor?
Okay, so Kingman is a person then, so it's not going to give us bulletproof umbrellas. Wouldn't
Sadly,
mind a bulletproof umbrella, but
sadly not so.
Well, let's see if we can find where this card works.
any indication of where it might work on there, or just some military stuff and General Kingman level 4?
Oh, roll me a sharp check.
All
And
right.
call it investigate a mystery.
Seven.
So on a 7, I'll allow you to ask one of these questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here?
Let's go with where did it go?
You, as you're sort of all conversing and looking at this lanyard, this key card, you glance over your shoulder. Right on the edge of the slot machine area where this was left carelessly is the door to the elevator. Also, stair access.
Is this elevator got like a card reader next to it? that we can
Not
see?
on the not on the
Oh.
outside. Maybe on the inside.
Let me check out something. Give me that card for a second.
Here, give it a whirl.
All right. So I'll go over and punch button for an elevator and wait for it to open up.
The power is still working in this building after a few seconds, and you can hear the gears turning in the inside of the elevator. Ding. Doors slide open.
All right. With looking in without fully stepping in, is there a card reader in there?
Yeah. There is.
All right. Well, I'll tap the card to it or swipe it, whatever the card uses.
And the light goes from red to green, and the doors begin to shut. Are you stepping inside the elevator?
Push the thing to, open the doors again. Like, guys, get over here. Something's happening.
As you say that, you've opened the doors, they try to shut again, and then they hit your hand again, and they open again, and they try to shut again.
Well, I'm going, if people aren't able to get in here before it, keeps closing and won't respond to my hands keeping it open, I will not go in the elevator. But if people are going to come in and they can make it in time, then we're going to go and see where this goes.
I'll look at Rutherford. Are you ready to go into this box?
This cart's making the elevator go somewhere. I'm thinking we might not know where it goes.
Well, I mean, no one is expecting us, so it is unlikely to be a trap, I guess.
Let's go.
Let's go, but be ready when the door opens again.
You all
Something attack us.
all go into the elevator together. The doors shut behind you, and the elevator begins to descend. There's no buttons, there's no floor indication on the inside of the elevator. No numbers change. According to the numbers, you're still in the lobby.
But it's going down.
It's going down, and it's taking its time.
So Gabe, was there ever a basement or underground parking for this casino?
Well, knowing how they tended to do things, I think, didn't there? There probably was. I think they used the main lot out front for the customers, and I think they had underground parking for the employees. But I never came in here, so I don't know for sure, and I never met anyone who worked here. This
certainly wasn't a hotel key card, but the hotel is responding to it too.
We suspected there is a lab around here, so...
And what better place to hide it under an overly large casino and hotel for some little-ass town?
Well, they had money givers, I guess.
Last I heard, Wyandotte wasn't big enough to justify this size of a hotel, let alone, there just weren't that many people here. And I never heard of this casino. If this was some big tourist trap, I would have heard of it up in Wichita, but...
Yeah, we were all kind of surprised that they built it that close to Wyandotte. We figured they'd do something a little bit closer to Tulsa or something.
How long ago was it built?
That was at least 8-9 years ago, if I remember right.
Perhaps they had alternative reasons to build it.
Could be.
Yeah, which we might be going down towards right now.
And I start to grip my walking stick just a little bit tighter.
They built this bunker long before Captain Tripp's spread.
So, as the elevator's descending, I'll put my shotgun over my shoulder on his sling, and I will pull out my Mac-9 and kneel in front of the door, and I'm just basically gonna shush everybody, indicate to everybody they should go to the side, just in case there's something when the door's open.
Is anybody else doing anything?
See, while the discussion goes on, would bad movie style look if on the ceiling there's an exit, just to maybe get the idea to have a look up there as well.
Yeah, of course there's an exit on the ceiling.
She would carefully point out the idea that it might be it's taking its time. You said it's not like dropping fast.
Yeah, you guys have been conversing for a couple of minutes, and you haven't hit the ground yet. It seems to be moving very slowly.
Okay. I'll look at Rutherford. Brother, give me a lift, and just point to.
I mean, yeah, with my height, I imagine I could just push the hatch open and throw you up.
You're
there.
pretty tall, yeah.
Please don't throw me up there. I would just, first of all, carefully look outside and would like to figure out if there would be enough space for all of us to stand out there. She has the stupid idea that it might be nice that the elevator door opens and we're not in there.
I'm not sure that I will get through that little hatch though, Celeste.
Shit.
Did she go up?
She will peek up. So she would, like, she knows Rutherford has some strength to hold her at least for a bit, and she would just look around, but does he have a point? He wouldn't fit through the opening?
Yeah, it's too small for Rutherford. I mean, maybe he could force his way through it, but it's not ideal for sure. Roll me a sharp check, Celeste.
So you're going to get up there by standing on the shoulders of giants?
That would appear to be the case.
With an 8, the flickering dim lights that are on the inside of the elevator tunnel give you enough illumination as you kind of peek up and look around to see that there's nobody up there, up above. But your negative consequence, you see a scrap of a dress.
On the top of the elevator.
It's like it was wedged, like it got cut and was torn away from the rest of the material, as if the elevator, the trap ceiling above, had shut on the dress and somebody had to rip it away. You find that scrap of that dress, though, with the same imprint, the same design. You recognize it in this moment. It's at least the same material and design as the dress you remember your sister wearing the last time you saw her.
Dun, dun, dun.
Torn on what she would do with it. She would grab it if she can reach it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right in front of you, and you're still standing on Rutherford's shoulders at this point.
Is everything okay up there, Celeste?
I will just do a roll, just because I can't decide what she would do.
Absolutely.
God darn it. She will be honest. Let me down.
Well, yes, okay.
And you will see her having a piece of cloth in her hand with, well, something that you would know at least Cassie would have worn on the day she went missing.
What is that you have, Celeste? It looks like Cassie's dress.
Right as he asked that question, there's a rock as the elevator hits the bottom of the shaft, and the doors fly
To the side. Hopefully people are standing to the side so they're not immediately visible when the doors open.
Rutherford would be
At least
I think the siblings would stand right in the middle staring at each other with the piece of cloth in their hand. Just
But-
our DDM intended to.
I moved to the side because I could see what you were doing, and I've seen enough
You've seen
B-grade
enough
movie to know exactly what Donovan's setting up for, so I knew to move out to the side.
side. So the doors open, and I see.
It's a lobby. It's like a clinically light, white walls, a desk, white desk, a chair, a white chair. No human beings, no bodies in here. Roll me a sharp check.
All of us?
Just Donovan for now.
And Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
That's a 7.
Investigate a mystery. Ask me a question. What happened here? What sort of
What
creature
is concealed here?
What is concealed here? You are glancing around. You see 2 doorways. One that leads to a hall on the left and one that leads to a hall on the right. They each have little glass windows in front of the doors. And Rutherford and Celeste would recognize this layout as being identical to the layout of the previous lab, except for there's actually lights on in here. Donovan, what is being concealed here? You see a streak of blood. It looks like the streak of a bloody handprint on the left door.
Interesting. I'll rise to my feet, and it doesn't look like that's here. I guess I will put my nice little compact submachine gun away and get the shotgun out again and start slowly creeping in, kind of sweeping the room. It's like, this is definitely not something that should be in a casino. And that is definitely something that does not look fun. At least not fun for them, as I point out the bullet stain to people.
And taking a look at the blood, how old did this blood look?
It's dried, not ancient, but
well past congealed then.
Yeah.
But
whatever it was, it wasn't too recent.
Everything here looks all pristine and sterile, and that is very much not. And this should not be under a casino. So I think our darling little government has been up to something.
It would appear so. Maybe all those conspiracy things on the History Channel were right after all.
Well,
So are you saying aliens?
No.
I don't think aliens, at least not yet anyway. Who knows where that worm came from, though?
Well, based on the other lab we found, at least nowadays, they're using it to test on people that changed based on the virus.
Wait, you've seen another lab like this?
Yes.
Where was that?
Back in the east. And we know there are a few more around the country.
And how many things tried to kill you when you were in that one?
There was just a doctor left and a friend of ours that we wanted to save, and we saved her. But something was there before us and killed almost everyone. So be careful.
Might still be here.
It seems that they had militaries around, and I am not sure if they are still around or if we're too late.
Oh.
We better be ready for them to go full Rambo on us then.
This might be the same layout as the one you saw before, so where do you think we should go?
I would point... It looks similar as the other lab that we were before. So I would point towards where in the other lab the cells were. Basically the same direction we went last time.
That would be through the door with bloody handprint marking it.
The handprint, just to be curious, does it look human-sized?
Yeah, it looks human-sized, but it's streaked.
Okay.
Is it a
Like-
push door or a pull door?
It is a
Which way does it open? Pushed open? That's concerning. Looks like they were trying to push that door open and go that way. Huh. Hopefully that means there's safety there. Hopefully.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, and I would say we both go first and you follow. And keep an eye and ear also open from behind, not that someone sneaks up on us.
That I can cover. But
Yeah,
yes, ladies
I'll
first.
go right behind you two.
All right. So you enter into the hallway then, Jan?
Yep.
And you push the door open, swings open. It's not locked. This hall is well lit. There are 4 cells with another door at the end of the hall. That door lacks any sort of discernible window, but each of the cells does have a window. It's one of those that you would imagine about this wide, that tall. You'd be able to look through into the cell.
How's the smell, just to be curious, compared to last time?
It smells like disinfectant. It smells clean, sharply clean.
Looking at my brother, at least it seems he hasn't been here yet. Or he cleaned up after him.
Rutherford hasn't really moved since the dress was put in his hand. He's holding it, he sort of just grips it, puts it in his pocket and says, well, let's find out what happened here, shall we? And starts walking with a sort of carefree nonchalance. Not even nonchalance, just a determination to try and start figuring things out. He may look a little wanton or careless at this.
What's the plan here? Where are we headed?
Rutherford doesn't have a plan yet. He's just heading in to try and find out. I mean, if he sees more blood, he'll follow that. Follow the blood.
She would look left and right into the cells just to see if someone is there that needs to be freed, because that was initially her idea, and also if there is anyone in there that she knows. And carefully move her way down. Is there also another door at the end?
There is another door at the end. I'll allow everyone to make me a sharp check. Celeste and Rutherford, to start with, you can also make me weird checks. Rutherford, you do have -1 on your weird.
Edmund did give me another reroll though, so I'm feeling good about that.
Oh, okay.
-1 still. That includes the -1. I'm not going to reroll either of those. This is fine.
This is fine. With a 10 and sharp check for who got the 10, Celeste. I'll say that the smell of disinfectant is more recent. Now these doors have been shut. This place isn't super well ventilated necessarily. But you get the sense that with the bloody handprint on the outside, not seeing any blood on the inside, that somebody has cleaned up this area. Everything's too clean. You are all moving through, and Celeste, as you look through a window into the cell's empty. The lights flicker as you look through, but remain on. Rutherford, you sense something moving off to your side as you pass through by one of the other cells. Does he keep moving towards the end of the hall?
No, he moves towards the movement immediately. Without thought. More instinct than anything. He is more akin to a hunter than a man at the moment.
Rutherford, I have to ask you this. This is a question. And I don't want anything to be the answer, meaning don't say anything. Give me something specific. What would Rutherford be willing to do to save Cassie?
Well, let's work our way up. We already know that he's willing to kill people. Willing to endanger his own life? Yes. Willing to endanger Celeste's life? That's, I think, where the line is. Once Celeste starts becoming in trouble, that's just trading one sister for another. And that he does not like. But I think that's roughly where the line is between sacrificing himself and sacrificing his sister.
You look through the window of the cell and you see a man sitting on one of the cots, his knee propped up. He's leaning back. This is the same man you saw on the side of the road, wearing a blue jean jacket and blue jeans, long curly dark hair. Flashes another smile and tips his head at you. He's not alone. There's another man kneeling before him, his head on the ground, his forehead touching the cold metal of the floor, prostrating himself before this sitting figure. That man, you can't really see his face, but he's wearing ratty clothes. Could look like either he's been off on his own for a long time or maybe is homeless. He's got very little hair left. What's left is scraggly and gray. And he's just tipped his head, bowing on the ground. But the man sitting is not looking at him. He's looking through that little opening in the cell at you and smiling.
This person seems to keep appearing. I'll try the door.
You open the door.
I walk in.
You walk in and the door shuts behind you. Everyone else, you don't see Rutherford open the door. You don't see Rutherford step inside. You see Rutherford staring straight ahead through a window. His face vacant.
I would step next to him. Probably look inside first.
When you look inside, Celeste, you see not a cell, but what looks like a church. For a moment, it looks Catholic. But when you look at the statues, there's something wrong. The statue of Mary, blood coming out of her eyes, a horn thrust through the statue's head. The crucifixes on the wall turned upside down. The light of the mass candles, not normal candle light, but something darker, redder. And there, standing at the front of this small church that you're looking into, the man wearing a suit, an immaculate white suit, tie. There's a woman wearing a dress made of the same material, that scrap that you held in your hands. They're holding each other's hands, staring at each other. This is a wedding, but the pews are filled with all of the dead that were here, the people who were once workers, still wearing their lab coats, but their flesh rotten. The man wearing the suit, well, he has long, dark, curly hair and a big smile.
I would pull out my glasses I got from Penny and try to look again, because with all her still analytical thinking, it doesn't make sense that she sees that through that door.
Roll me a weird check as you put these glasses on.
Do I need to decide to add my d6 now, or can I decide afterwards?
Decide beforehand if you want to use
I
it.
will add the d6.
All right. Roll 1d6.
Swing!
With a 14, you stare through this and the church goes away. The statue with the bloody eyes and the horn, the reversed crucifixes. You are staring into a cell, and that cell is choked with the bodies of the dead. People who worked here, people who were experimented on here. You see creatures not unlike your brother. You see not Randall Flagg wearing a suit, not your sister embracing him at a marriage altar, but the one figure that does remain, and this is a figure that you could only see vaguely, the outline of a priest at the head of the altar. That priest comes into focus, and as it does, you see a horned creature with black skeletal wings, fiery red eyes, long curly dark hair, and a big smile. And as he looks through the window at you, his mouth distends, his jaw drops agape, it dislocates and gets longer and longer and longer, and you can see a fire inside him. Your glasses, as you are getting better at using them over time, tells you that this is demonic activity. But there's something about this devil's face, this demon's face, that looks just like the man in the jean jacket, Randall Flagg.
Do I sense or see any of this stuff going on?
Roll me a weird check. Do you get any sort of bonus? Do you have any special moves that you can use here?
That's what I'm trying to look and see right here. No, I don't see anything bonus-wise.
So, as just a general sense, I'll call this sort of investigate a mystery. I'll let you ask me a question. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What is it going to do? What is being concealed here?
What is the creature inside?
He's not just inside, he's everywhere. He's beneath you, above you. He is cast out on the earth and has been here for ages, eons. He is the prince that has fallen.
The light fallen from heaven?
Yes.
When cast out?
Yes.
I immediately take my walking stick, jam it onto the ground, and say, "In the name of the Father!" And suddenly, everyone sees a gold glow come off my body. I start transforming. I'm no longer a 5'8", pot-bellied redneck. Suddenly, I start to transform. I think of the body of Conan the Barbarian, Schwarzenegger, now up about 6'6", 6'7". And my walking stick is no longer a walking stick, it's a flaming sword, and you see wings coming off of my back. Wings with feathers as white as alabaster. They look like feathers white as alabaster. Name thyself, foul spirit.
I would
Donovan
say
is going to recoil in fear and stumble backwards and fall on his ass.
Valid.
I won't make Donovan roll me a check for that. I think that's just that's a good gut reaction here to this situation. Before we resolve this and move on, we're gonna call this cast out evil, Gabe, which means I
Yes.
need to make me a tough check.
Also, thank you very much, Michael Wayne, who donates another £5 for the use of the middlemen stuff to Celeste, another D6.
Excellent. All right, and let's see here. What do we get? A 13. All right, so on a 13, you smash this staff into the ground. This golden light comes off of you. And what was your final command? What was his final words there?
Name thyself, foul spirit.
We're going to come back to that in just a moment, but I want to move inside to Rutherford, who's in your mind, he's standing right there in front of the door, but in Rutherford's mind, he's inside the cell with the man, the two men, one of them wearing a blue jean jacket and blue jeans, smiling at you. Oh, I'm sorry it's taken us so long to have a conversation. It's hard to get you alone, Rutherford.
I have seen you on the road.
I've been on the road for a very long time.
You have been talking or maybe messing with my sister, Celeste.
Not messing with her, Rutherford. Trying to help her.
That is
Trying to
see.
help you.
We shall see. Was it you who filled her head with delusions of our sister being dead?
Your sister's not dead.
I know.
That's what Celeste wants to believe.
That's as I fear.
In a way, Rutherford, we're brothers now, you and I. Maybe not by blood, but by the law of man.
Explain.
I've entered into a union with your sister. She and I, spiritually, more than spiritually, are one now.
It seems strange that she would marry without you first meeting one of us. But stranger still has happened in this apocalyptic time. I suggest we meet her. It would be good for me to see her, to see that she is still alive.
Well, you're welcome. We have quite the home in Las Vegas. I would love for you to come out and visit. Bring Celeste. You should both come to Las Vegas.
I do not know if I can bring Celeste. She is hell-bent on heading away from that place.
I understand your reservations, but this is an all or nothing sort of deal, Rutherford.
What would you have me do?
Get her here any way you can, so we can be a family. It's not safe, the world out there, but it's safe here in Las Vegas.
There might be a way. I will have to make her think it is her idea.
Very well. Is there anything I can do to help?
This isn't real, is it? You are here in my head somehow.
what you see with your eyes is no more real than what you see right now. You're just perceiving the world in a different way. But I promise you, it's all real, Rutherford.
And what about this person groveling? Is this something that all are expected to do?
Well, that depends. Right now, I'm most interested in what I can do to help you. And Celeste.
I will leave. I will head south to Las Vegas. I will leave her a note of my intentions. If she's still the sister I know, despite her fears, she will follow.
Do you want me to help make sure she gets there?
No. In fact, the way you could help would be to have less interaction. She is freaked out. I believe it is you she is scared of. If you truly mean us well, this is why I suggest that you may be messing with her. She is not pleased. Let her be. She will follow.
Roll me a cool check.
Oh boy! Hell, I don't want any middle ground here. I'm gonna use my reroll, better or worse. I'd rather a certainty.
Your last reroll.
Yeah.
Go for it. The man prostrating himself on the ground raises up and a line of drool falls from his lips, hanging on the metal floor beneath. He begins rocking back and forth. You can see his face now. It looks like it's melting. It looks like there's something wrong with his face, but his eyes are wide and zealous. And you can hear him say, "My life for you, my life for you, my life." And then you're back out in the hall. And you stand before the creature that you knew as Gabe. He is muscular, angelic, magnificent. And as he slams his staff and the golden light comes off of him and he calls out the words, say it one more time, Gabe.
Name thyself, foul spirit.
You hear a whisper through the tunnel. Flag!
We all here or just Gabe?
Everyone hears it.
Is this a name that I am familiar with? As a member of the host.
Roll me a what do I want to make this? Roll me a weird check.
I would like to do my +6 on this one. I don't want any doubt on this one.
It's good.
I need to know if this is one I've met before.
Excellent. Go ahead and add your 1d6.
Oops, I think I did it wrong.
Yeah, the slash goes before the R, otherwise you're...
Yeah, I just realized I did it backwards. Okay, a 10.
That's just enough to have a full success. You don't hear flag like they do as the wind whips through this little hallway. You hear Lucifer.
You are no longer worthy of that name.
There is a groan. Sounds like metal being rent, like earth being turned over. Donovan, roll me a sharp check.
Righto.
So thank you very much, Michael Wayne, for gifting me another reroll.
Nine sharp.
As you're moving back and you're kind of more emotionally detached from this situation than everyone else involved, you recognize that I'll let you ask me a question here.
trying to remember all the questions now, or just any question.
Any question, and I'll frame it for you.
How much shit am I in?
You feel as this wind whips through the tunnel. You feel a tickle in the back of your ear. You hear another voice whispering to you. Kill him. It's time for you to live up to your bargain.
All right, then. I'm going to spend my action this round on hesitating.
That's fair. So you've scuttled. Now your back is up against the door. The ground is shaking slightly. The wind is still whipping through the tunnel. It feels like the in and out exhalation of a breath. What's Celeste doing right now?
She would be very happy to have someone that is not devil-like here. Is Rutherford still out, or still?
He's just snapping back into kind of out of his daze.
She would pull him or try to pull him away from the door.
Does Rutherford fight her?
No.
And I would try to face him as best as I can, and just look at him really calmly. He is the devil.
It would seem that way.
I'd rather trust him and point to Gabe.
Yes, I agree. I don't think there's anything for us down here, though. We may as well return. I don't think we're going to find the answers that we are looking for here.
I at least want to have a look in the cell to see if our friends are between the dead in there.
This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I signed up for.
Okay. You finish up here. I'm going to head upstairs and see if the worm is still running ransack around the car park.
Honestly,
Everyone.
together. Don't go. Please.
I will stay.
You are much safer if we stay together.
I will stay. Though I do not have much care to look over the bodies, in earnest.
And the question, did we hear Donovan say that?
I think so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's still on the floor back against the wall, kind of freaking out.
Celeste would carefully step toward Donovan, just looking at him. I'm sorry we are freaking out.
Can we just get out of here? And then I can be on my way, and that I did not sign up for this, and that's, yeah.
Donovan is right.
Yeah.
The principalities that we face here are too strong for me alone. It is for your best safety that we get out of here now.
You all hear a thunk. It's the sound of a body against a door. Celeste, you're close enough that you can still see through the window. And as you look through the window, you see that those bodies that were left inside that cell in a heap are moving, and they're pushing up against the door. A hand bangs against the glass, and you see through that window, beyond that hand, Bernard's face. But his eyes dull, vacant. Unk. Unk. His hand, and then his head next, his skull cracking against the glass.
This is new.
She will give a big sad sigh and turn around to the others. I think we should leave. You're right. There's nothing here we can do.
Let us leave now.
Thank you for the donation of a dog. Gabe, you get another D6.
Gabe, roll me a weird check.
I want to re-roll that.
Use your last reroll. It's a good call.
Well, I haven't used any of them yet, so just use my +6 or my D6er. So I still have 2.
Yeah.
I want to use definitely one of them now.
Okay, and you can use your D6 as well if you're doing both. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
I want to do them. I have a feeling this is going to be crucial. I do want to add the D6 to this.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Roll the 1d6.
I did it backwards again.
That makes a big
An
difference.
8. Can I re-roll again?
You want to use another reroll on the original roll?
Yeah, can I
Yeah,
Can I?
absolutely. We'll keep the 5,
like
but make your regular weird check again.
Not like I can stockpile them.
That's true.
The dice have
Okay.
spoken
The
so
dice are speaking.
sincerely. Damn.
They feel strongly. You feel a quake beneath your feet, and you feel the presence that's below that. You'd once reached out before and tried to press your mind, your spirit, to tell what the worm was. Is it natural or unnatural? And you feel it now beneath the earth, beneath you. It was a man. It was a man in pain. A man changed just like so many of the men on Earth have been by the virus. And for a moment, you feel like you're able to communicate. It's part of your divine presence here on this world, to offer this creature something and ask of it something. What will you ask?
Do you seek release from your condemnation?
You know that the man, or what used to be a man, wants nothing more than release. All it knows is hunger and regret for its actions, but it cannot control its nature. What will you offer it?
Do I know that if I banish it, it will be released, or will it just be moved to another spiritual plane where he'll still be in this form, suffering?
It's the form that's alive. It's a physical form. It's not a spiritual demon. It's a mutant. It's like Rutherford, in a way.
Only instead of being a wolf, he's now a worm.
That's correct.
If I use lay on hands, will that heal a mutation or just heal points?
I'll let you use it. What is it that your intention is here?
I'm wondering if I can use the divine power that I have to heal him of this mutation that was forced upon him. To reverse it, basically.
I will allow you to make a lay on hands roll with this stipulation that for something of this magnitude, you would have to give up your divine power, at least for a time.
Ooh. If I do that... That is not my primary mission. So I will have to pass on that for now. Perhaps I can find him at another time and attempt it. But right now, it's more important that I do something else.
As you have this connection with this creature and it begs for your help and you deny it, the ground beneath all of you opens up. The hallway explodes. You see this writhing shape explode through it. Gabe, you know that in this moment, as it rises, as you can see it coming up, rending the ground, that you weren't the only one it was asking help from. And while you denied it, something else said yes. Everyone make me a tough check. I want to see how well you stay on your feet or balanced. Donovan, because you're on the ground, I'm going to give you +1. Your center of gravity is a little bit better.
No,
I was going to say, I can't really fall down when I've already fallen down.
So all of you are able to stay pretty well balanced, but with a 10, I'll give Rutherford the first reaction here.
Honestly, I think he'd probably grab Celeste if Celeste doesn't resist and start running towards the elevator. Oh, yes, Celeste also has a 10 because Michael Wayne donated for a +1 to their next roll.
Oh, excellent. All right, so then I'll allow you guys to move in coordination with each other. And I'll give you, if you're both doing the same thing, then I'll give you +1 on your next checks.
Come, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go. I'll follow him.
Yeah.
Run to the elevator. I doubt there's a stairway bypass. Run to the elevator and sort of like try and get the elevator moving, but just hold the door open for our friends.
Are Gabe and Donovan following behind?
I look to see what Donovan's doing first. I want to make sure he gets his feet and is rolling.
I'm still freaking out, but kind of getting up awkwardly. I
help Donovan up, and I half push, half carry him towards the elevators. I stay as I make sure I'm the last in the line.
Rutherford and Celeste, are you waiting for them to catch up with you, or are you trying to get the elevator door open and into the elevator?
We have the door open, but push it open basically to...
I need everyone to make me, let's call it a act under pressure, which is a cool check. I will give Rutherford and Celeste +1 on this.
What did it do?
Ooh.
So
what it did, but it didn't do the right thing.
Oh,
Double plus.
no, it did the right thing in my mind.
No.
Is anybody going to reroll?
When you put +1 in that box, you just have to put 1, not +1.
Okay,
So
that's
your
it.
roll is
Oh,
actually
right.
1 + 3 +
But-
2.
I would still use my reroll.
Yeah, you only
Using
rolled a
the last
6 anyway.
reroll?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and reroll, Celeste.
And that one would be then without the +1, right? Or still with +1?
No, it's still with a +1.
Just put 1 though instead of +1.
Still not well.
Better than the last roll, just.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do still have a
did I
D6 as well, Celeste, just so you're aware.
I know.
Good.
I'm going to use my last reroll, and I want. Who do I want to make reroll here? Gabe, reroll.
Okay.
Just enough. So Rutherford and Celeste, you're able to get in. Rutherford, you're able to help Celeste in the door. You got the elevator door coming, held open. The worm is coming up behind you, Donovan and Gabe, and you being the last out, you're able to get out into the lobby, but it breaks through the door behind you, through the hallway. Walls are collapsing. The desk overturns and flips up. The desk smashes into the both of you as you're being carried through. You're almost at the elevator, but as it smashes into you, you will both take 2 harm. And now you're separated again. We're going to do a little bit of initiative here. And I'm going to go with Scratticus. Rutherford, since you got a 12, I'm going to let you act first. Do you continue to hold the door open? Do you stay in the elevator? What does Rutherford do?
So, how the worm... is it just like a table has distracted Dawn and Gabriel? They could still run?
Yeah, I mean, it just broke through and then descended back into underneath the floor again. But you can feel everything around you shake. You know it's just moments before it attacks again. It comes up, smashes, comes down, up, smashes, comes down. It's knocking down walls. Everything is falling apart.
I will stay exactly where I am, holding the door, but making sure the elevator is ready to go as soon as they're in.
Who do you pass initiative off to?
Donovan, run! Come on!
Donovan, it's your turn.
Alrighty. Okay, so me and Gabe have been separated. Like we're just in different sides of the lobby or whatever.
Yeah, the desk smashed into you as you were running out through into the lobby, and it just kind of knocked you away. Like it knocked you to one side and gave to another.
Alrighty. I guess I will sprint for the elevator, and as soon as I get in, I'll start mashing the door close button while loudly freaking out.
It's Rutherford continuing to hold the door open even as he's pressing the door close button.
Holding the door for Gabriel.
All right.
He'll be fine. He's like a freaking angel. We need to get the hell out of here. I'm not an angel. I ineffectually try to like push his hand off of the door, and I am completely losing my shit.
Are you actually trying to push his hand off the door?
I'm not going to bother rolling for it because no, I'm a scrawny person. I'm not going to be able to push his big bulky werewolf arm away. It's kind of more comical, like the big guy holding the person by the head while they're trying to punch them. Yeah.
All right.
Come on, we need
The Lucy and Ricky scene, right?
Yeah. It's like, he'll be fine. Come on, we need to go.
Does Rutherford continue to hold the door?
Indeed.
Donovan, who do you pass your initiative off to? You are safe inside. Safe.
guess I will give it to C. See what she can do.
I will try again. Leave no one behind, this time on Gabe. So
All right.
she will run for him to basically grab and help him. And I will add my d6 to that.
All right, make your rolls.
That's, let me just check, that was a sharp. Yeah. So yeah, I grab him and run for the elevator.
Gabe, do you, so now passing it off to Gabe, are you entering the elevator with Celeste?
I enter the elevator if I see that Celeste is in, then I enter the elevator, and I'm standing at the doorway to the elevator with my flaming sword in hand. It's a Celtic flame blade. It's basically a 1.5 hand sword, and I'm ready in case anything tries to come before the doors close.
And it does. Even as the doors start to close, it rises and it's coming straight for the elevator door. I'll give you a chance to act here, Gabe.
I will swing using my divine weapon.
From within the elevator?
You standing at the, you're going to have to step out if you're going to take a swing.
Okay, if I have to step out, then I'm going to stay inside. I will swing if he's close enough for me to swing without stepping out.
I'll let you stab. Let's call it a
jab.
Yeah, it's called an attack, but we'll give you -1 on the roll.
Okay, fair enough. Now, so for my divine weapon, how do I activate that on here? Just a tough and then
Yeah, go ahead and make a tough check for me. That's all.
Okay. Ooh. Not enough room to maneuver.
Can I gift Gabe my reroll, please?
Yep, your last reroll.
Okay. All right, let's make this worth it.
So that's a 7. You drive the blade forward. It deals smite is 3 harm, right?
Let's see. Smite is 2 harm, and the sword itself is 3 harm.
Great.
Fire holy.
You drive the flaming sword forward, even as it peels its mouth open this way and it peels its mouth open that way, and you feel a desperation in this creature. You know that it has given up its soul to be freed, to be let go of this torturous life that it has. And you know in this instant, as you drive your blade forward, that it doesn't care about any of the others. It only cares about you. It does do 3 harm that cuts through its armor, but it also clamps the edge of its maw shut on your arm. You're going to take 2 harm, and I need you to make me a tough check.
Okay. And 7.
You're going to take 1 more harm as it latches on, and it's trying to pull you out of the elevator. It doesn't have it yet, but you're in the doorway now. The elevator can't shut. Who do you pass your initiative off to?
I will pass it to Rutherford.
All right, Rutherford.
Rutherford will take his hands off of the elevator door so it can close, and try to grab Gabe and pull him inside, and just pray that the worm cannot damage it on the way up.
Try to pull him out of the worm's mouth, because the worm's got his arm up to the shoulder. All right, give me a tough check. This is gonna be a hard one.
Oh boy. And here's me giving up my last reroll.
You're able to pull Gabe out through the elevator door. The elevator hasn't shut yet. The doors are starting to shut again. Who do you pass your turn off to?
Celeste.
will have my rifle out and shooting at least through the gap that is getting
Tighter.
tighter.
Take your shot. Yeah, you shoot it right in its mouth before its mouth closes, and for 2 damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right after you shoot it, its head rears back and then it barrows back down beneath the ground. The elevator doors almost closed now. I think Donovan's the last person to act before we'll say the elevator door closes.
So the worm is now gone?
At least for the moment. It's gone back down underneath. And the walls and everything inside beyond the elevator door is starting to collapse. The elevator itself is shaking. It's not even going up yet, but it's already shaking.
Going to continue to loudly freak out and mash that door close button.
Roll me a cool check.
This is so not...
Or losing your cool check, more like.
This is so not what this character wants. So not what this character was designed for.
Yeah, you're able, you pound it. You try to press it forward a little bit, just anything you can do to get it to shut faster. You're not sure if it helped or not, but the doors...
I didn't expect it would, but Donovan doesn't care.
The doors do shut, and you feel the elevator start to rise. Everyone roll me your choice. I'll let you roll me weird or sharp.
All my rolls have gone dead.
Rutherford and Celeste, you both feel certain. Well, Celeste, you feel certain that the elevator is in a very dangerous place. It has a very high way to ascend, and this worm is capable of just tearing apart walls, buildings. You don't feel good about your current situation. Rutherford, you feel certain it's when you pulled him back out of the creature's mouth, the maw, that the worm, and you're not sure how you know this, but you just know it. The only thing the worm wants is this angelic figure that's there with you. And I'm going to use my last reroll, and I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give this one to Gabe. Let you reroll your sharp check.
Back to my college days and my cursed dice.
Much better.
Tom, have you all seen the movie The Matrix? Well, my friends, there is no spoon. Let's go.
Should we try to go up? Out?
I don't think the elevator's going to make it. Especially not with you.
Is there any other way up to the ground?
This doesn't seem like the sort of facility to have a staircase.
We can at least...
All right. I got a question for the keeper. Since I do have my wings out, since I kind of suspect that this worm is now possessed by Lucifer himself, or at least under his charge, and he's probably going after me by the way, can I, even though I don't have the angel wings moves, can I still use those to fly up the shaft to distract the worm away so they have another way, so they can try to find another way out?
Roll me, I don't know if I want to call that weird or cool. Roll me both.
Okay. I'll roll cool first. And now weird. Yeah.
Oh.
Nope.
Your dice
The
really
Lord
are
wants-
cursed.
The Lord wants me to stay with y'all. Okay.
No, I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
So you pull up, you go up above the elevator as it's rising, and your idea is to fly up the shaft.
Yeah, fly up the shaft since it's looking for me
Oh shit.
to have it to be the decoy. I can't protect them if they're going. I can't protect them if it's coming after me specifically. The best way I can protect them is to lead it away.
Is anybody else? So Gabriel flies up above, and he's flying faster than the elevator's rising. You can see up through the roof, the ceiling. Is anybody else doing anything at the moment? Or are you guys just trying to hang on and wait to see what happens?
Celeste would point out again where she looked up, and at least get some room between the worm and them, and see if there's any place they can go. So, pointing to Rutherford, I think you have to squeeze through there. I'm really sorry.
You go first. I'll rip my way through after.
Okay. And I will look at Donovan.
Yeah, sure, I'll come with you. Seems like my best bet.
Rutherford, some help, please?
Yeah, I will help you both.
Mostly just looking to not die today.
That's a love goal.
I know Gabe there helped me out with my truck, but I think I paid him back and then some for that.
Definitely.
So you guys are climbing up onto the roof of this rising elevator?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And as soon as we are up, I would tell Donovan to hold on to whatever he can hold on to in case we get a bump from downstairs. And then I would hold my hand down to see if we can get Rutherford up.
Yeah, Rutherford, you're joining them?
Yeah, I'll when I try and take myself up through this hole, I'll try and just rip it a little bigger.
Roll me a tough check, Rutherford. And then I'm going to want tough checks from Donovan and Celeste.
You said tough?
Yeah.
That's not that great.
You have
All right. Does
rerolls?
anybody have any rerolls left?
Yeah, we have 2.
Donovan still has 2. Celeste
Okay.
has 1
Donovan
that was
has
just
2,
gifted by
Celeste has-
Israva, our stream boss.
Great.
An 8 is still in success, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is. So it's a 7, so...
For you 7, I would say use 1 reroll. Scrat, I will give you mine.
Thank you.
Or your top.
Donovan, are you using a reroll as well?
You have 2.
Uh,
Oh, jeez.
I'm one of those people who like plays Final Fantasy and doesn't use any potions till like the last boss. So it's...
All right.
It's like,
Well, I
I'm
think
not
this is
dead.
the last-
I'm not dead yet, so I don't want to.
Here's
Okay.
So here's what happens. Rutherford, you are able to tear open. You're able to pull up. You're halfway through it when everything goes to hell. Donovan and Celeste, you're on top. Gabe, you are flying up above, probably 40, 50 feet above the elevator through this dimly lit shaft when the worm explodes through the wall directly in front of you. With your 2 failed rolls, its maw opens and it clamps shut around you. I will allow you to make me a tough check.
All right, dice, don't fail me now.
You are able to hold open its maw. You are going to take 3 harm from the bite, but you do not get swallowed. How is Gabe looking?
I've got 1 check mark left.
All right, so it pushes through. You are holding its maw, keeping from being swallowed. It's up above. The elevator is approaching it, and the elevator is rocking back and forth, and then the cable snaps from this confrontation. And as it does, Celeste, you are able to grab onto the ladder, but Rutherford and Donovan, you are both dropping.
Is there a ladder or something that I would have been able to grab onto?
With a 7 tough, you are able to not take any harm, but you miss the ladder as the elevator starts to drop.
Right, so I'm not taking harm in order to take more harm in the end. Okay, got it.
The thing is, I wouldn't grab for the ladder if Rutherford is not out. I would still have my hand out to help him. I would probably rather hold on to one of the ropes or strings, however you call it, of just the elevator itself.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay. Roll me. How's Rutherford and Donovan reacting here?
I try to grab something, but apparently I'm not able to. Now the elevator is ascending. I think that's about a 15 on my freak the fuck out check now. I am screaming so loud and so girly.
Rutherford?
Rutherford is stuck halfway in the hole. He believes that perhaps this elevator will have air brakes, so it won't be too bad, like brakes when you get to the bottom. But he's not 100% on that, so he'll be trying to climb up to where everyone else is.
I'll let you and Celeste, if you're reaching for each other, you can both make me tough checks and see if you both succeed, how well it goes. Donovan, I will allow you to make me a cool check. As in, can you keep it?
Because I am so cool.
I will take a luck.
You're going to use one of your lucks?
Yeah.
All right.
Mostly cool. I've lost some cool. My suit is definitely dirty by now.
So, Donovan, you do grab onto the ladder before the elevator falls full speed down, and you're hanging there. You lose your weapon, flies out of your hand as you're holding on to it.
All right, that would be the shotgun. All right,
Celeste.
Heads.
Celeste, you reach out. Since you used the luck, I'll allow you. You reach out and stretch, and you catch Rutherford. He's heavy. He almost pulls your arm out of your socket, but the two of you have each other, and he swings down to the ladder and is able to hook on as the elevator smashes into a heap down at the bottom of the shaft. Gabe, what are you doing here?
All right. So is Rutherford free from the elevator now?
Yes.
All right. Now that if I see that he's safe, I know since I've got him pulled open with my jaws here now, I guess I'll do the best that I can to, okay, question. Is he now a totally unnatural creature that I could banish since he's under the power of Old Nick?
I will certainly let you try.
Since my hands are full holding it open, I can't use my sword. I'm going to try to banish him.
All right, roll me a tough check.
And I'm going to use my luck. If I can.
Excellent. Yeah, you use one of your luck. And how do you imagine this banishing to happen?
As I'm holding his jaws apart, in the name of the Father, I banish you from this place. Be gone, never to return. In his name.
You feel
and the power goes out from my hands. From where I'm holding his jaws out, hopefully my prayer is being answered, and I will see the power go through his body.
The creature, just as you're fighting against it, thrusts forward, and you feel yourself smashing through the back wall of this elevator shaft, the stones and metal falling down all around you. You feel the presence of this creature's soul pass from its body. Once it was human, it gave itself up and made a devil's bargain. And as its soul leaves its body, you feel for a moment the pain that this man once a good man feels as he begins an eternity tortured in the pit of hell. You feel that pain. You feel the fire that he feels for a moment. Does Gabe have any sympathy for him?
Having seen Lucifer fall from heaven as a member of the host, and having seen fellow angels that I knew that sided with him, I know the pain he is going to, and I regret that I was not able to free him because the calling of my mission was too high to risk it. I regret it, but his will must be done.
So you feel the pangs of regret. I need you to make me a cool check because you feel regret. You know in your heart that you did the right thing, even though it feels wrong. It feels, or at least part of it feels wrong. And you know that you were successful. But in that moment of hesitation, of considering your actions and their consequences, the walls, this underground cavern all around you collapses. Maybe you're immortal, maybe you're not, but you can feel the weight of Earth, a mile of Earth, pin itself over top of you. You can't see the elevator shaft, you can't see the light, you only see the darkness. What does Gabe do? What does he say? What does he think in this moment?
If mentally, if not physically, he looks to the heavens and pleads to the Father for mercy, because he knows that all of his creation is sacred and should not suffer as the one turn of the worm was, but that I felt I was following my orders from Michael and Gabriel, and that at least in my interpretations of the instructions, I was following his will. Please give me your mercy so that I can finish the job that I've been sent here to do.
Like many times when God answers a prayer, it's not always direct or obvious what he's saying, what he's trying to say, if he really hears. Sometimes not. What you hear now is the slow, rhythmic tink, 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 tinking of a spoon stirring the inside of a teacup. And we'll cut away from Gabe here. Donovan, Rutherford, Celeste, all make me one more tough check. Is anyone using luck or re-rolls here?
Sure, Donovan will lock this.
All right.
I'm not totally sold on the re-rolls after watching Gabe.
Now you can gift your re-rolls to other people too. That is something you can do.
Yeah, my character's too greedy for that.
All right.
At this point, he's looking up for number one, and counting stops at 1.
You are all climbing up this shaft as it's falling apart. It's a long climb. You get beyond a point where it seems like the collapse has stopped. And you continue to climb, taking breaks. You don't see Gabe again. You're near the top. Celeste, you just got a reroll. So I'll let you use it if you want to use it here.
Thank you, Dan. I will.
Are you going to use it on your tough check?
I'm sorry, the dice
Oh.
say no, but thanks, Dad.
That's a literal reroll. You
Yeah.
rolled it again.
Still thanks, Don, for letting me try.
Of
See,
course.
that's why I didn't want to use my rerolls on this.
You are almost near the top when the infrastructure of this underground place falls apart, where everything rocks. Rutherford, you watch as Celeste slips off the ladder and begins to fall below into darkness. How does Rutherford react here?
Falling into the darkness, that is not a good way to leave your sister. And so he cannot. He'll dive down to try and rescue her. There's no way.
All right, give me a tough check.
Celeste, you've just been gifted another reroll.
I've seen.
Oh, I failed.
You get my reroll.
All right, roll it again.
See if
Come
the dice
on.
can be persuaded. No.
Okay, I'll give I will give Rutherford one of my rerolls.
Rutherford, do it again.
Better.
All right. Celeste, I'll give you a tough check here too. Since he only got a 9, I need you both to succeed.
I should. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Whoa.
And just like before, except for this time, positions change. Rutherford, you lean down, you're hanging onto the ladder, and you grab your sister's arm and you hold her strong. It's actually her. She grips your opposite wrist, and you're there hanging in the darkness as the rubble continues to fall. The space beneath you begins to fill with more collapsing elevator shaft, and then again it stops. And as the dust settles, you are able to, with time, all climb out of the elevator shaft, exhausted.
All right. We all getting out at roughly the same time, or am I getting out first as I didn't fall?
Yeah, you say you get out first. What's the first thing Donovan does when he escapes?
Looking around for Gabe, who flew on ahead of us, and is there any sign of him?
There's not.
I guess. And I don't know that Rutherford managed to make the catch. Things were very dark and collapsy, and they just dived down. So I'm going to head out to the parking lot, find myself a new set of wheels to hotwire.
Are we all heading back to gather ourselves to return to the movie theater?
I am. I don't know about them.
Rutherford and Celeste?
I think so, yes.
No.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm leaving them behind because I don't know if they live through that or not. And I am way too freaked to stay anywhere close to this casino anymore.
Roll me a cool check, Donovan.
Oh, how cool am I? I'm not very cool. I lost my sunglasses too.
Oh no.
I know, right? It's horrible.
Did you roll? I haven't seen the result.
Oh, okay. I've actually got a rip in my suit. This is not good.
You're driving along. And you leave them behind. There's a presence inside the car next to you. You look over. It's a man wearing a jean jacket, long, curly, dark hair, big smile, blue jeans. It's time for you to pay up, Donnie.
Hey, I didn't get a clean shot. If he turns up again, I absolutely will do that. Otherwise, I thought our agreement was that you needed me for some more work down in Nolans.
Our agreement is that you serve me and do what I say when I say it. Roll me a charm check.
Ooh, does this count as a manipulate action?
No, you can't manipulate this guy. I'm sorry.
Okay, because I have a move for manipulating. So
This is more convincing him of your earnesty.
So I'm going to use my reroll on that. My last reroll.
Your last reroll. Go for it.
My soul demands it.
9's okay-ish.
He says, I'm going to give you one more chance. But I'm going to need something from you first.
What do you need from me?
He takes his thumb and he presses it through your eye.
Right. As you going to freak the fuck out again?
As you scream and freak out, as you spent a lot of the tonight doing, you've made your bargain, you've paid the price, and you know you'll have a second chance in New Orleans. We're going to cut back to Rutherford and Celeste. You return to the movie theater, exhausted. Sometime later, Donovan's gone. Haven't seen Gabriel. You enter into the back of the movie theater.
Before we enter, I'll turn to Celeste. I think perhaps before we move on, we should try and convince Mattel to move with us. I thought I understood where he was coming from, but with the nature of the evil in that casino, it would be good to move him on.
We can try, and I think before we move on, we two need to talk.
Yes, I agree.
Say this as you enter into the back of the movie theater. The movie's still playing. It's at a different part now, not the same looping scene that you'd seen before. Alvin is in the back row, sitting in a chair.
I will call out and move forwards to him.
Roll me a sharp check.
I want to.
He's not snoring anymore. You get closer to him, you realize that he's not breathing at all. He's got a slight smile on his face. Looks peaceful, content.
I will slowly step forward next to him, check for his pulse, the usual thing. I know what I have to do to check if someone is alive or not, or can be saved.
There's no pulse. He's cold, not very cold, but he's been dead at least for a few hours, you know, from your medical experience.
She would just sit down right next to him, or on the floor next to him, basically, just leaning back.
You do. You sit down and lean back. You watch as his unmoving gaze stares blankly forward at the movie screen. The end of the movie Lost Horizon plays. You've never actually seen it get to the end before. Maybe you've been away doing other things. As many times as he's watched this movie, you've never seen the ending, but it shows its hero returning to Shangri-La, a mystical country, a paradise free of death. At the end of the movie, the hero smiles and his story ends. And that's how we'll end our story today.
Yay.
And I know we went late today. This is I think our mid-season finale. We'll be changing some things up here. As always, we'll go around, decompress here just for a minute, so we can take a break before the next show on this channel. And as always, for our guest today, thank you. I loved your guys' characters. I thought they were really interesting and totally different than anything we've had. And I'll say this too, like always, there's a writing prompt that I do after the show. It'll be in the Twitter chat sometime today, to let you guys have a little bit more input on what happens next to your characters as the story moves forward.
Okay. Sounds good.
I completely built my character around what never happened.
And that's how it goes sometimes too. But it was so interesting. That like tension was so interesting the entire time.
It's just I would have shot Gabe in the head, but then I would have been ripped in 20 by Rutherford instantly. And losing an eye is still better.
Yep, it's a classic lose-lose, and I feel like Donovan really came out of it a lot better than he could have. And probably, honestly, if you hadn't saved your rerolls until the very end, would have. So maybe that worked out for you after all. Let's go around here, and let's start with with Donovan. Let me know how you felt about the episode, if you enjoyed it, and where we can find you online.
Oh well, see, this was delightful. I like this. Might have to do this again. If you guys ever end up back in New Orleans, I don't know, maybe I could be a one-eyed grifter floating around. But it sounds like you're going to Vegas instead, so. Well, I had a great time. Just kind of out of the blue, Scratch is like, hey, you want to play some games? I'm like, I'm free this day. It's like, great, you're doing this. I'm like, oh, okay. Mostly I just hang around on Twitter. I'm on the Discord, but I've been very inactive for a long time. But MIB5799, either one. Suppose I should be more active now.
We'll go ahead, and I want to skip Gabe for a minute and go to Vicky and Celeste.
Much to digest and work through. I am really glad I'm not going on a business trip tomorrow morning as usually planned, because now I have time to think through what happened here. And yeah, you can find me online on cutie_v, and I'm from time to time also on Discord. I'm trying to kick myself to be there more online. And let's see how this goes on.
And I think, is it next week that, okay, yeah, cool.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll have a nice reset to the second half of our story. And I'm really looking forward to it. I love how the characters have developed so far. So before we go to Scratticus and Gabe, Kyle, I want to say for myself, I'm Donathan Fry. You can follow me on Twitter. I play other games. I write things. I do lots of things. Follow me there if you're interested in finding out more about what I do. I post it all there. But I'm just very grateful to get to play with all of you, to share this story with everybody here in chat. Thank you for all of your support. I love doing this. It's a great way to start my week. And thank you for being here. Before we go to Scratticus and Gabe, how are you feeling about today's episode? How are you doing right now?
Oh, I had a blast. Who can't not enjoy getting a chance to be an angel and participating in some good old-fashioned spiritual warfare and stuff like that? As a believer, there's nothing more, can't get any better than that. Didn't like how some of the rolls went, but as the re-roll showed, the dice had the tail discovered. Sometimes when you pray, sometimes the answer is no, and you have to live with that. So I had a blast. The only problem was waiting for the right time for the reveal, and as soon as you described the face that was in the window, I knew I couldn't wait any longer. That it had to happen.
At one point, I think you asked me, like, should I have done it already? And I was like, well, I think you'll know. I think you'll know when the moment's right.
Yeah, you were right. I would know the right time, and that was definitely the right spot. Being
Yeah,
a
I
big,
loved it.
yeah, it
It
was
was
a
a
real
blast.
great time. I can be found when I'm not being a RPG fanboy hanging around everyone else's websites on Tuesdays. On my own channel, I do have some gaming going on. Tuesday nights, I do the Lego game series. We just currently started the DC Supervillains Lego game, which is looking to be fun. Wednesday nights is my weekly Skyrim serial. Currently, we're doing the Adventures of Eric Rosine, a guy that's more Nord than the Nords. And then starting last week, I've started my new stream, Critical Holds, which if you're a big Critical Role fan and you haven't gotten enough of them yet with other stuff, I've created all the player characters, NPCs, and monsters into a WWE 2K19 universe, and have matches for each campaign. And I actually have a mod now where the guys can go against the gals. So I have all sorts of thinking matches here, and we'll be having our first pay-per-view next week on CageCon. I'll be helping with the fundraiser there, Cancer Awareness Gaming Experience. So other than that,
Awesome.
I'm just hanging around as a RPG groupie with everyone else except for when I can slide in for stuff like this.
Awesome. And that charity sounds great. So I hope you'll share that on Twitter so that I can see it, because I'd like to find out more about that for sure.
Oh, I will be.
All right. Well, before we go to...
And I can be found name-wise, same name I use here, same thing for Twitter and for Instagram. If you want to see what the wrestlers look like, go to Instagram. I've got pictures of all of them there.
So before we go to Scratticus for decompress and let him shut everything down, deep beneath the earth where Gabriel is buried, I'm going to let him say one thing. I'm going to let him reach out and say one thing to one of the people he's met today. Is there anything he wants to say in particular, and to whom?
Okay, let's see. To Rutherford. I know you seek your sister, but she's in the Father's hands now. She's in a place where you cannot go. Move forward. She's in his hands. There's another purpose for you. Keep your eye on your true calling.
All right. Hi, Scrat.
Oh, hi.
Mr. Burns' hand clasp.
I don't know how Rutherford would interpret that, because what he would have been setting up to do was to convince Celeste that they'd talk later, that they should stay here for a few days and then sneak away to try and sneak off to Las Vegas.
And you don't have to make this decision right now, Scratticus. This is one of the things with this game, kind of the convention we've created, is that sometimes when it comes to traveling and making these big calls.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. Yeah, I think that's possibly the scene we leave on, is Rutherford sitting there in the cinema, not really looking at his sister, instead weighing the words of a dead angel versus the words of... No one's really described that this guy is the devil to Rutherford. No one's explained this. Celeste has had a lot of hints, but Rutherford hasn't, so...
That's why she wants to have the talk.
So Rutherford is kind of thinking, well, there's this guy in Las Vegas who says she's alive and that they're married, and this angel says she's in the Lord's hands. Maybe they're one and the same. That's where we pan out, I guess. Thank you so much for this game, Don. God damn, it's It's a ride every Monday. I'm going to go through my things. This is my channel, guys. Welcome. Check out our links. We have social links there, Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Check out our Patreon by following that link there. We also have merch. Get a crest on your chest over at the Redbubble. And we have sponsors in Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mageham Press. Go and check all of those out. There's also a few other things down in the panels below where you can get 10 to 15% discount on tabletoploot.com, arasavad.com, and rootinc.com. Today, I'm going to take you all over to Madame Gandalf's channel, so prepare for the raid response, because she has an amazing one. It's been a whole bunch of fun. And I'm already looking forward to next week. We'll be back in about an hour with the next game, The Mists of Sire. But until then, keep on evoking emotions, and we'll see you next time. Bye!